with John Higgins Weather Guard. It's tip-off time with the rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Make the right call!
Unlock a world of possibilities with Special Olympics Nebraska. Our programs go beyond sports, empowering individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities of all ages through sports, health, education, and leadership initiatives. Experience a transformative impact of year-round opportunities designed to nurture growth and build self-confidence. From the thrill of competition to the joy of camaraderie, our inclusive community celebrates every achievement. Best of all, participation is absolutely free. Join us at SONE.org and discover how Special Olympics Nebraska is transforming lives one incredible moment at a time.
I'm Omar Reese with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. The Denver Broncos officially will have a new starting quarterback for the 2024 season after informing Russell Wilson that he'll be released next week at the start of the new league year. Wilson was asked to waive the guarantee in his contract last season. He declined and was eventually benched the last 2 games of the season. Wilson spent just 2 years under center in Denver, went 11-19 as a starter, and will leave the Broncos with $85 million in dead money over the next 2 seasons. Eagles center Jason Kelce announced his retirement after 13 seasons in the NFL. At his emotional 40-plus minute press conference, Kelce left no stone unturned, thanking his coaches, teammates, and especially Eagles fans. The Chiefs placed a franchise tag on cornerback L'Jarius Sneed, while the Buccaneers and wide receiver Mike Evans agreed to a 2-year, $52 million contract, according to NFL Network insider Mike Garafolo. Evans has generated 10 1,000-yard seasons in his 10 years. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. In the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. The ugly truth is when you buy a timeshare, you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. I recently helped a couple that had their maintenance fees go from $800 to $3,200 a year. They also received a $4,000 assessment for a hurricane that was over 1,000 miles away. Sound crazy? The crazy thing is this never ends. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. Call 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. 800-462-3333.
Email us on the Equitable Bank inbox with whatever's on your mind. Zone Inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. You can get me, Gary, at 1620thezone.com. We want to hear from you on the Equitable Bank Zone Inbox.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no service fees. Shop ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
A crossover is
crossover dribble.
Crossover.
Kyrie Irving, crossover in the lane. One of the most famous crossovers of all time. Behind the back, an ankle breaker on Chris Paul.
Crossover.
Double crossover. The crossover continues to evolve. Crossover is powered by Every Little Concrete Repair in Omaha at everylittleconcrete.com.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody was listening yesterday. I left here. I
hope someone was listening yesterday.
I think some of our family was. There was a Sydney Sweeney discussion going on TV yesterday.
So Sydney Sweeney was training yesterday.
Yeah, she single-handedly brought back an element of the female persuasion that had been lacking.
Really?
Yeah.
She brought it back?
She brought it back.
She was training
That was
yesterday.
the topic on the show.
It was gone?
It was gone, and she brought it back.
Wow.
So I know I'm vague, but
big credit to
leave it there.
Big credit to Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah. Also bringing back that I'm very excited about because we all like spring and ice cream. Did you guys see Dairy Queen's bringing back the cherry dip cone?
I did see that.
Yep. Ooh,
exciting. It was gone?
Yeah, I don't know why it disappeared. Because can you still get a crunch cone where they dip the cone?
I don't think they do those there. I think they do them at other ice cream.
So like the local Dairy Chef, which should be opening here soon.
Real close. When I think crunch cone, I think of old place that was over by the College World Series. Zesto, yeah. DQ has the birthday cake dipped cone.
Yeah.
No.
But I'm boycotting DQ for a while after they didn't turn my Blizzard upside down.
I got a Blizzard last night. Whoa.
What'd you go with?
Reese's peanut butter cup.
Smart man. Did they turn it upside down?
They sure did.
Which one did you go to? Can you tell me that?
132nd and Maple.
Okay, that one this last summer, they were on a run where they were not holding it upside down. They were testing the thickness.
Have you ever looked inside of the window at Dairy Queen?
Yeah,
it's
times.
a hellscape. Yes. It is an absolute disaster in there. And this is not me calling out one individual Dairy Queen. Please don't get this wrong.
No.
But there's a lot going on.
I'm always curious. Like I always do that anytime I go to a fast food place.
Does it look calm? What's going on? In Dairy Queen's case, it does not.
I feel like I shouldn't look
working. They are grinding in there.
Yeah.
I imagine at the end of the night that it's just like, what's the stickiest a place could be?
It's got to be handling ice cream. Like,
well, if you think
as long
Dairy
as
Queen
Dairy
is like
Queen
that,
is.
go to like a local ice cream shop here in town where it's basically teenagers working, and it's just helter skelter.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They're
as long as it's coming out solid, and good and fresh. Then I'm happy.
They open up that window and then the chaos wafts onto you.
I almost feel like more chaos. Like the better the product, though.
But you
sure. Yeah.
So,
I mean, I kind of want my ice cream place to
on
be
this
a little
discussion.
chaotic.
And the other day I was because I was out running. Do we still call them errands?
Yes, I said. I ran errands yesterday.
Is there a different word?
And I stopped by the Chick-fil-A on 72nd. So
no Chick-fil-A sauce.
Us olds, sometimes we knock the youngs. I got to give a shout out. So, like, if you go to Dairy Chef in Elkhorn, which I do think opens up like in the next couple of days,
for the season,
then they open for the season.
Mm-hmm.
But it's basically like Elkhorn kids that are running Dairy Chef
You
with an adult here.
Can I speak to your manager?
And
it's me. I'm 22.
It runs seamlessly, and they are super busy with lines.
Oh yeah.
And you got people that go, "Can I take your order?" And they don't know, and they're just staring, and they feel rushed, and they're like, "Oh, that's not what I wanted. Can I change it?" And then I look at Chick-fil-A, and because I had some time to kill because I was meeting somebody on that side of town, I was sitting there, and the drive-through there is backed up because it's a popular place.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the kids that are running it are basically high school kids from Papillion La Vista or wherever, and it is running smoothly.
It's very orderly in there.
And I'm like, good on them. They are the future of our world, and they are running a high-level company drive-through, and it's just bam, 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 bam.
They know how to handle a line.
Yeah, absolutely. But the thing that they do pretty well there is they have a job like for every every person has a specific job. You go to some other fast food locations and it's just like, yeah, we need you over here because maybe they're short by 2 or 3 people, and then they're moving around from station to station
because corporate's telling them, hey, you gotta save every nickel.
The thing about the fast food restaurants is if you go inside, let's say to a local place with the Golden Arches or something like that, you go inside and you go up and order at the counter.
Yeah,
and
can't do that anymore.
Oh yeah, you got to go to the kiosk.
Yeah,
yep, that's stupid. But you'll go up there and you'll kind of take a peek back there, and you'll kind of keep your ears open. And you always hear the beeping.
Always.
There's beeping. Yes. There's beeping from every place.
And no one seems to care.
Nobody seems to care. It does not bother these people. I would hear it in my sleep.
Now, hold on.
There's a lot going on.
Well, because it's
that's how you learn
like
teamwork.
I like to go to a local coffee shop, and I don't want to be in the drive-thru because it takes forever. So I go in, and I think it beeps when somebody's in the drive-thru. Until somebody
or when the fries are done, or when the McChickens are done.
The fries.
So let's back up here. You like the face-to-face. You're not the kiosk. No. The kiosk is quicker than the face-to-face.
It is. If you know what you're doing on the machine.
How is it? How is that?
Sometimes navigating through that, if you haven't done it before,
just boom, boom. You tell a person touches.
You tell a person what you want.
Skip logging in, use an app, whatever you want to use the restaurant code. Boom, boom, boom. And then it's done. You pay. You do the tap. It spits out your receipt.
You can do all the same things.
You can hear them going, all right, 2 McDoubles up.
You can do all the same things just with face-to-face interaction. You just tell them, hello, I have like 3 chickens. And then you do the tap and then it ends.
The person on the other side of the counter is slow. That you're just bam, bam, bam.
It's not that. I mean, what kind of McDonald's order are you ordering?
I'm usually like, I'm looking for the deal, buy one, get one for $1, and then the large Diet Coke, and boom.
2 for $5?
Yeah, so that shouldn't be an issue.
It's just boom, boom. I like the kiosk. Sometimes I like to sit down because I get extra Diet Cokes to drink. I get the table number, put it in there, and
I do like
set.
doing the.
Same thing exists when
If
you order with the
if you
human.
do go to Panera, I do like doing the kiosk more than actually going to the person.
I
feel like the Panera one's pretty.
I don't
go
to Panera.
I don't get the upsell questions.
Yes, that's true.
I don't get that anymore.
Although you do sometimes get prompted an upsell. Like, okay, do you want to add an apple pie?
I don't have to listen.
No, you
I don't
don't.
just-
Yeah.
nope.
No, you just dismiss.
Nope.
Continue
How
to
is
check
this
out.
easier?
Do I want to round it up? Nope, sure don't.
Yeah, how is
Continue
this
to
easy?
check out.
Because we
You're not
don't
getting a tax
because
write-off
there are
because of
times
me.
where we don't want human interaction.
Yeah.
When?
Often. All the time.
Not all the time, but there are sometimes when you're in a hurry.
You of all people.
Well,
Mr. Human Interaction.
He does raise a
but
good point there.
there are some times though that I don't want to interact because I got to keep it moving. So I like the kiosk because it's right there. You walk in the door and it's in front of you. Boom, boom, boom. Your order is up and it's out.
I think the drive-through is probably the place for you. You get to the drive-through. Very little human interaction.
No, you have good human interaction there because you can always tell if the person working the drive-through is having a good day or not.
That's okay.
Like
Yeah, they might
make their day
engage
by going, "Hey, how are you doing?"
I've noticed Scooters does that a lot, where they'll ask you as soon as you get up to the drive-through. They'll say, "So what do you got going on today?" In multiple locations.
Okay, that's a little too much.
Multiple locations.
Stop
They'll ask,
focusing
"What do you got
on
going on
me.
today?"
Focus on Josh. Josh doesn't want anything to do with anybody.
That's right. That's right.
Josh, if you were to go through Scooters and they said, "So what do you got going on today?" Would you just be like, "I choose not to answer that."
Buying coffee.
Yeah, just buying coffee.
Now,
Thank you.
That's definitely happened to me before. We're like, what do you? I'm just like, yeah, you got today off work because I'm there at I don't know, 10 or something like that. It's like, no,
yeah,
I got a weird job.
I'm not going to explain this to you.
It's like the person on an
but-
airplane that wants to engage you in
As soon as you say
conversation.
radio,
No, I'm definitely not going to explain this to you.
What do
But
you do?
no, I do not have today off.
Yeah.
I have worked today or am working today.
I've been so
but
again.
I will not be
Scooters,
explaining it to you. Thanks.
Same thing with Scooters. They asked either what I was doing or you heading to work, and I think I said I was just leaving or going to work or whatever, and I just said I work weird hours. I just left it at that.
Nice. That's good.
Yeah. So that way that didn't
They don't
leave,
ask any more
didn't- yeah,
questions.
Didn't leave really any follow up of like, oh, what do you do?
So the person that cuts your hair, Josh, do you like that engagement?
Oh,
Well,
Josh cuts
it's
his own
me,
hair.
so
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Josh cuts
I'm
his
okay
own
with
hair.
interacting with that person.
Do you converse with yourself?
That
while cutting
person's
your hair?
cool.
Yeah. So if
Hey,
you
what do
ever,
you got going on today?
if you ever see a little spot that
It's a great question. Josh.
maybe might be missed up
Yeah.
top there,
Okay.
just know that was Josh and Josh
That's me.
only.
Uh,
I had to
My wi-
warn him
my-
about that a couple weeks ago.
My wife hasn't gotten to it yet.
we have some sad food news in this town. I did notice yesterday when I was coming home from something, the Denny's on 84th is closed.
No.
All right,
Denny's.
pour one out.
The last time I went there was after a birthday party. That was at Bushwhackers of all places.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And we were not sober.
This
I
is
am
when
re-
1998.
No, I'm sad to say and report this, Josh, but this was actually within the last 5 years.
Josh drinks scuba.
Always happy for him.
There.
I think this was. I think this was like 2019. I think it was like just pre-COVID.
Can't
What,
draft
do-
in my fantasy.
Do we have any? Do we have any Perkins left?
On the Iowa side,
I thought
there's
still
one
in
as you go
Omaha.
to the airport, but it's technically in Iowa. So this
That's
is what's
true.
happened is
Carter Lake.
there are
Stand
the,
up.
the places we only
Put your
go
sports
to
bets in
when
there.
we've been drinking are getting fewer and fewer.
Yeah.
Like Denny's on 84th, which if you go there after the bars closed is an absolute gong show.
Mhm.
I mean,
Best
it's
people watching.
there's just I feel bad. It seemed like the times I've gone there, there's just one lady, same lady working, and she looks haggard. And everybody, and then all of a sudden the cooks are quitting, and
Yeah,
she's,
well, restaurants close at about 7:30 now. This is a COVID
Really?
thing.
like
Yeah.
Village Inn.
You
We
go
used
to
to-
a place you have no
Yeah,
idea
Village
what.
Inn is
if
You
they're-
might you might only go
Yeah.
to Village Inn when you've been drinking.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Now you can't.
Did you see? Have you seen the Village Inn rebrands?
Oh yeah, they're all
Yeah.
farmhouse.
I've heard about 'em.
They're very farmhouse looking.
And they can close for any reason. They don't have to explain themselves. You can just walk up at 7:00 and it's closed.
They're just not there.
Yeah, we didn't have enough people.
Hey, I
so we're
ordered.
closed.
I
And they're
ordered
not
my
big on-
food online. No, you didn't.
Nope.
Sorry, we're closed.
They're not as big on pie either. I mean, what the hell? What are we really doing, Village Inn?
Are
Come
they
on.
out on pie?
I think you can get it, but it's not something that they really push.
Is Village Inn phasing out pie?
You used to be able to get holiday pies to go. You can't do that. I know my brother, there's a pie called the candy cane pie that we'd get for Christmas every year. Couldn't do that this year.
Well, they have to still do Pie Day, right?
I
they
don't know.
always-
I don't know.
remember
Kind of,
their-
they might have
Used
phased
to
it
be
out.
every Wednesday.
Yeah, they were giving away pies.
They might have phased it out.
No way that's going on anymore.
I mean,
Is this a
again,
reflection of our country? Are we as
Phase it out
as
pie?
an American people out on pie?
I mean, I still like it.
I think pie is probably, like, if you looked at the graph of pie and its popularity over the years, I would imagine that it's taken a dip.
Do you think that the cupcake cut into the pie consumption?
Oh, maybe.
Definitely.
Oh,
yeah.
Are you a cake or a pie person?
I'm really neither, but I prefer cake to pie.
Well, don't undersell the cookie game right now too.
The cookie game is
big now.
hot.
Yep, it is.
There is cookies.
It's like Hansel
everywhere you look.
But why does a cookie have to cost so much?
Yeah,
because it's so big.
And it's
Do you
good.
remember when every place was a self-serve yogurt shop?
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's the cookie.
That's the cookie game now.
So,
but the cookie game is here to stay.
The crumble cookies have popped up all over the metro.
Yep.
I saw that Insomnia Cookies is coming to the Capital District.
Yeah. Well, I got to give a shout out to our friends who deliver us cookies at the Creighton games over in Council Bluffs, Kookaburra. Those cookies are
Good
amazing.
cookies?
Those cookies are amazing.
There's I forget the name, but the guy came from Utah out at Village Point. There's a cookie shop out there.
Yeah.
Warm
cookie? What is that?
I
Warm?
can't remember what the name of it is.
I was out there not that long ago, and I remember
But
seeing that place.
why does the cookie have to be so expensive?
I don't know.
Great point.
There's just a lot to it.
We must
A lot of
look
love
to the
that
cookie.
goes into that cookie.
Yeah.
You ever picked up one of those cookies? It weighs like 2 pounds.
I'm trying not to pay $4 for a cookie.
Well,
and then they go, well, you know what? If you bought 4 of them, it wouldn't be $4 per cookie.
Well, here's what you do then. You need to get your cookies from McDonald's or Subway because they cost $1 to add it onto the meal or whatever.
You can get a foot-long cookie at Subway.
You are just simply not in the market for big cookie.
The Subway M&M cookie, by the way, very, very underrated.
This is not a market problem. This is a Gary problem. You're just looking for something different.
I am not. I have no problem walking back to the bakery at Hy-Vee and grabbing the cookies that are packaged.
Yeah.
But they don't cost $4 a cookie.
No, they don't.
No,
but those
that's
are different kinds of
Probably
cookies.
$4 for
And
a
I
12-pack.
Hey, as much as I've been a crumble cookie consumer, I'm not the guy that buys cookies and you put it in a little box where you show me what the cookie is and then you close it.
Yeah, it's
You're
it's their way of turning it upside down so you know the thickness of the blizzard. That's how they do it. Is
I
this
like
your
the ones
cookie?
that come in their
Yes,
own
it's my cookie.
come in
Does it
their
look
own
good?
little
I don't know. I'll let
pouches.
you know after I eat it.
You know what you don't need when you get the nice, cookies from one of our new cookie establishments? You don't need 6 of them. You need 1.
Yeah.
No, but they
'Cause
sell them in packs of 4.
They're giant. They're monstrous.
Yes.
Then you have to share that with all your friends.
You do.
Here's
think
the
it's the
key,
point.
though, in these cookie places. How prevalent is the milk? Because you go to Insomnia Cookies, and it's like right there on the menu next to the cookie is the milk.
Oh, yeah?
So you order the milk and the cookie.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's definitely less of a presence of milk in cookies now.
Does Crumble Cookie
more
offer
about
milk?
the cookie?
Does Crumble Cookie offer milk?
I don't.
I've never seen anybody come out of there with milk.
Yeah, I've never seen milk offered.
Yeah,
Seems like an obvious.
But if I'm getting a
Yeah.
cookie to go, I don't probably need the milk. If
No,
I'm
I
going to sit
don't.
down and have a cookie, like
Yeah,
a
I
cookie
don't.
restaurant, then I do want the milk.
Yeah. I
But I
don't
don't-
either, but I'm just curious if I just overlooked that at my time
Milk
at
to me
Crumble.
also has an expiration on time of the day that you're drinking milk.
Yes.
Brian writes in, have you tried to get a Shamrock Shake from McDonald's? I've been 3 times, all different locations, and they've been sold out every single time.
I got one
Really?
on Sunday.
Nice. Good job, Josh.
Right out of the gate, first try?
Yep.
Okay, good.
Sold out, or is the ice cream machine down?
I ordered on the kiosk, so there wasn't a human there to lie to me and say that the.
But the kiosk doesn't know. That's the problem with ordering online. Like, they don't know if they're sold out of
No,
stuff
I
or
think
not.
the kiosk, all of a sudden, that's
got
the
it.
first to know if you're out of inventory.
You're supposed to,
Yeah.
as a manager, update
Well,
those things.
you tell me. You know?
Um,
So we got a couple texts. By the way, first time this person has ever texted in any of our shows. Here's what the texts say from the 402. Perkins by airport. Check. Perkins in Kearney, bleep hole, Nebraska.
I think I've been to that one.
I've been to that Perkins.
Have you been to the Perkins
Yeah.
in
is that
Kearney?
off of 80?
So I funny story about that Perkins. A buddy of ours, when we visited him in Kearney, this was like 1999. We went out to have a fun little time in Kearney that night,
Of
and he
course.
said, "Hey, by the way, post well, we weren't at the bars, but post drinks
We all go
meals
to
on
Perkins.
is on me." We're like, "Damn, all right." Yeah, he had the idea of dining and ditching.
No.
So as he already offered to pick up the check, and then he said, "Hey, go to the bathroom, then go to the truck." All right, then you go to the bathroom, go to the truck. We're like, "What the hell's going on?" Then we realize, "Are you not paying for this?" And he goes, "Just do what I say." We're like, "Whatever." And he was the last one to go, and he got caught.
You did this?
They're like, sir, you haven't paid your check.
Oh,
and then
no.
So he did end up having to pay for it. And I hope it was, I don't even know what it cost. I hope he got overcharged.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
We didn't even realize we were a party to a crime. And we didn't even know it. We didn't sign up for that.
Dine and dash
scheme. At the Perkins of Kearney.
At the Perkins.
Yeah, my
of
friend
Kearney.
tried to make us part of a crime that we had no idea was going on until we were like, wait a minute, what? This is weird. Oh, now I know what you're doing. But at that point, I was full and I had what I had.
This is much worse than me stealing the sauces from the place from Pancheros in Iowa every year.
Pancheros is so good.
Much worse.
But it's not as bad as you faking a hole in one.
I've dined and dashed.
Yeah.
No, I
claiming a hole in one.
I was a part of that. It was not my hole in one.
It's really funny though.
I do feel bad. As a 16-year-old, I dined and dashed as well.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Where?
Successfully?
Perkins?
No. I think it was Poppin' Fresh Pies.
Oh, Poppin' Fresh
When I
Pies.
was
Just a little local business
Wow.
here.
It was it became Baker Square.
Oh.
You guys have Baker Square here?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Long time ago.
Okay, so back to Denny's. Are we out of
Grand Slam.
Denny's in Nebraska?
Let's look at the map.
Now, you guys
Pull
are
out
a little
Denny's
bit
map.
young for this, but did you know that one of the most prime locations in America for a Denny's restaurant used to be across the street from Memorial Stadium in Lincoln?
A Denny's?
A Denny's.
Really?
What do you mean across the street? Where?
It was so
I'm
if
trying to remember
memory
this.
serves me correctly, it was where like the before you go on the ramp on
To get across to the
10th, no,
bottoms?
to go 10th Street out.
Yeah.
It was right in that area.
Oh.
Like that whole area got reconfigured.
Hmm.
But there was a Denny's that was literally across the street from Memorial Stadium.
Is this before
wow.
our time?
This
Is
was the
before
early
my
90s.
time? Okay,
Oh,
so
man.
definitely before my time.
Oh, and it was like the place.
That would be. That'd be amazing. Especially before an 11 a.m. kickoff. Oh.
But I think Denny's might be gone now. from
Yeah, so
Nebraska.
we're out of Denny's in Omaha, that's for sure. Just
Wow.
looking at the
that one
Denny's.
hung on for a while without
Yeah.
any updates.
I
I mean, the sign wasn't on, but it was a prime, like that Denny's on 84th is a prime location because you got a sex shop, you've got a
Yep.
Motel 6, and you got the Denny's.
Mhm.
and the interstate.
McDonald's.
I mean, yeah,
an
you're
easy getaway.
traveling through Omaha.
Yep.
What
Whole
a
weekend of
great
fun right
place
there.
to stop.
Yeah.
Like, who says go to the zoo? I'll just go like 4 exits down and get off on 84th Street, and I got everything right there.
Yeah, you do. You really do.
What is the closest Denny's to us right now? Let's see. Go to the Denny's website. We'll just type
You
in.
can go a little bit north and go to Mangelson's during the Halloween time.
Omaha.
All kinds of stuff you could do there. That's sad. That's really sad.
Find a Denny's near you, and there's nothing
Wow.
pops up.
This is hard.
Are they done? Like completely? Denny's do not exist?
No.
No.
No, Denny's still exists.
There
'cause
must
in some
be a
places,
Denny's.
In some places, they've upgraded and they're really nice restaurants. That one on 84th, they just never,
There's one in
they never
Gretna.
touched.
There's a Denny's in Gretna?
Yeah.
Oh, at Nebraska Crossing. That's what Dan just said.
Oh, really?
At the truck stop.
Now
In the truck stop.
I got Carney questions on the Equitable Bank inbox.
Yeah, I bet you do.
John wants to know, was the backlot still around when you were going to Carney? This is not the backlot, folks, that we were used to here in Omaha with the pizza. This was a strip club by day, bar by night.
Sick.
Oh, you mean the backlot where we'll be giving away?
No,
not that one. That's what I said. It's not the backlot that we know here.
No.
That was Carney was the OG of the backlots that are not associated with this
But
one.
you can go to the backlot in Exarban and play games. They have games for people.
Okay.
I don't think they have the other stuff that
Oh,
the Carney wanted. To answer John's question, it was when I was coaching. We would go out to Carney, and I remember a group of coaches, not ourselves. I was very proud to say we didn't go because it's during the day.
To the backlot.
Yeah,
strip
the
club bar.
backlot, the strip club portion was open till like 4 or 5, and then it was a bar after that.
That's awesome.
Isn't that weird? So you got the lunch hour for the ladies.
I spent a couple nights in Kearney. I went to the pizza place, Flippin' Sweet. Ever heard of that?
I never went there. No.
And then we went to Cunningham's. I think
Cunningham's is a cool bar.
It's Cunningham's. And then they built one out by the lake over by the interstate, which looks sharp.
Mm-hmm.
Looks nice and new.
They've got a nice little kind of a fancier restaurant. I believe it's called the Ivy Rose.
I never had many friends
Pretty good.
though that like attended UNK, so I never really got out there. very much, or we always told it's like, yeah.
I spent more time there.
Why don't you just come to us?
Coaching baseball, I spent more time out there than I did actually visiting friends. Because like you, I'd be like, why don't you come to Omaha? Yeah. As opposed to us going to Kearney.
Fridio says that Denny's was close to where the Nebraska Press Association building is now in Lincoln.
Okay, I know what you're talking
I mean,
about.
it was like a prime location, like in the shadow of Memorial Stadium. There was a Denny's.
So we got to follow up from this guy who called Kearney a bleep hole. He said, "Bro, people just go nuts in there. Saw a guy get stabbed with a fork. Bleeping Kearney. It was like my 7th year of college."
Wow.
This is an amazing string of texts from this person. Yeah, many people telling us that there is a Denny's at the Flying J in Creighton. It's good. And then apparently the 84th is now defunct.
Wow.
Into the great beyond of Denny's.
It's like sad.
Across the Rainbow Bridge.
Went there one night with a fellow coworker because we didn't know what to do with her, and ordered food. And then the waitress was like, "We can't serve you anything. The cooks just quit." And it was like 2:30 in the morning.
I love that. Being straight up, being honest with you.
It wasn't now they just decided to leave for the night. They quit. I mean, was there any follow-up?
They're gone.
Was there any follow-up of like, why?
Could you pop in some toast?
What
No,
happened?
she was like, she felt bad. She was like, had like 8 tables.
Oh my gosh.
And she was like, "Well, we do have some stuff that's already prepared."
Did you?
And everybody was hammered.
Yeah.
So it was not a pretty scene.
So you're like, hell yeah.
That's when you just say, yeah,
I
we'll
was
take
like,
it.
yeah, what do you got?
I'll take
And
this.
she brought out like sweets.
I'll take this.
Like she started getting pie to people.
Oh, there you go. That's when you said you have a waffle maker.
Yeah. Why don't you pop something in the toaster for me?
Or if you'd like, we'll do it.
But I don't think whoever owned that was really interested in upgrading. Never really changed. They never painted the place. Never really did much with the parking lot.
We miss places.
I'll tell you
like
what,
that.
a grand slam, it hit the spot. It would hit the
So
spot.
many things in the Grand Slam.
Oh yeah. They kept bringing plates and plates out as one person's meal. It's like, oh, there's my flapjacks. Oh, okay. There's my separate plate of hash browns. This is great.
Those places really turned pancakes into a side, which is quite a like. I always thought pancakes was
a meal.
just the breakfast.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You're right.
And they're
It
like,
is.
would you like a side of pancakes?
Do you want toast or pancakes? Well, I mean, really?
Those are different.
Yeah. Well, do I just get one pancake? Well, no, they come in 3.
Yeah. You get
Oh.
a stack of pancakes.
Oh, okay.
So is everyone here going to try the new flavor of Lay's coming out? The Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity flavored Lay's.
No.
Why would I do that, Josh?
I cannot make my taste buds associate
'Cause
Lay's
they
potato
exist.
chips to sweet.
Yeah.
So no.
Well, these are going to be strawberry
Oh my God.
pancakes with syrup and bacon flavored chips.
Would the chip taste like pancake?
Tastes like strawberry top pancakes with syrup and bacon.
There's no way.
You want to give me a pancake and bacon and even maple flavor to a chip? I'll try it. But you throw strawberry in there? No.
Now, I will give you guys something to try because I picked them up at the grocery store yesterday.
Oh, please.
The blueberry almonds.
Yeah, blueberry almonds.
Oh, they're addictive.
Josh tries everything. I'll give Josh credit.
If you put new on that bag, I'm gonna put it in my cart.
If you bring up
I'm a
something that
sucker.
nobody would ever eat, Josh has tried it.
See, I could
before.
do that because I've had like chocolate covered almonds. So I could go with like a sweet almond. Sure.
Josh, you should add
It's gonna
this
be
as
alright.
a leg to your pod or like a branch off your pod. Like, hey, Josh tried another thing today. Here's 5 minutes. Here's a 5-minute review on the fruity pancake chips.
I'll do it.
Okay. It's content.
Boom. It's done.
That's all.
Video.
Yeah,
You're
quick
sitting-
little video.
you're
A
sitting-
YouTube short.
Yeah, you could be one of those
You're-
like
you're on
ASMR
your-
guys.
You're in your living room at home and you're sitting on the couch right there in front of your coffee table because you seem like a coffee table guy.
We have an ottoman.
The Odson family's an Ottoman family.
We do as well.
I was
Coffee
thinking
tables.
you're such a Midwesterner that you'd have a coffee table.
With a coffee table book? A book about coffee tables?
Now,
The legs fold out.
is having a coffee table more Midwestern or is having an Ottoman more Midwestern?
Hmm.
I feel like an Ottoman's a more Midwestern thing.
I mean, the ottoman serves 2 purposes, really.
Yeah, it's
it can,
both a
it can
coffee
be the
table
coffee table, but also
and a
it,
leg
it,
raise.
And this-
extends into your couch.
This ottoman opens up.
Yeah,
and
ours
you
is.
can
Yeah,
put, you can put
yep,
stuff in
yep,
it.
it's storage.
Oh, the storage.
The storage ottoman is a
Yeah.
godsend.
I
man.
got some stuff in there that I haven't seen in years because I'm way too lazy to take all the stuff that I keep on top of the ottoman off.
This guy
to get inside of the ottoman where I have storage.
Man, I find out a lot of people went to that back lot in Kearney, including Chris M. He said, "Oh, Gary, you could play some games at that back lot too, but I don't think it's what you're alluding to." Yeah.
All right. Yep. Yeah, this is
you get the lunch hour.
This is good. This is good. We found some good spots. We need more places like this. Maybe we never let our local Denny's and Village Inns and
daytime strip clubs.
No, we turned Village Inns into De Leon's right here on.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a sketch place here on 40. What is that? 43rd,
Mm-hmm.
right here on Dodge.
Yep.
It's a little bit further down.
Oh, Abelardo's.
Yeah. What I say?
Oh,
De
yeah.
Leon's.
Yeah.
Abelardo's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a giant Abelardo's.
Yeah.
But that Village Inn was
nice,
like really sketchy.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I've been there.
Mm-hmm.
I've been there when.
First of all, it's got the odd. How do you get there?
Yes.
Yeah. Nobody knows.
Where do I turn?
There's a parking lot here. Could have fooled me.
Yep.
It's giant. Didn't know. There's a whole bunch of good food over in the Saddle Creek area now.
Hey, you told me something like a year ago about some new restaurant over there. You are right.
The Dave's Hot Chicken.
That little.
Yeah.
I mean, whether they be old school or some new places, that Saddle Creek stretch.
Nice little hub there.
Yes.
From QT to QT.
Yes.
Right in between there. There's some great stuff. Great stuff. All right.
And then before you know it, the medical center will buy it all up, and it'll just be medical buildings.
Yeah. Well, we need medical buildings.
That's also good.
Do we need medical buildings?
Well, of course we need medical buildings. People are sick and dying.
Have you been on Leavenworth? They're just eating up Leavenworth.
They need it most.
It's a medical
I
district.
mean, it's going to be a sad day when Tiger over at Barrett's is like, "Yeah, I can't fight him off any longer." And next thing they're going to tear down Barrett's, and Nebraska Medicine will be building, I don't know, something else like a waiting room.
Castle Barrett will be a triage.
It'll be
But the street in front will still be green.
Yeah.
And that place is closed.
Yep.
There's just going to be a Barrett's in the middle of a hospital.
But it'll be
built around it.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Let's do that.
Yeah, that's a good way.
There's going to be a La Casa in the middle.
Yeah. That's a good
Bronco
thinking.
Burger.
Oh,
you cannot touch Bronco Burger.
Yep.
You got to build around it.
Build around Bronco.
Oh, yeah. There's probably some type of historical landmark preservation
of
going
the
on.
Leavenworth, which of the staples will last the longest? Barrett's, La Casa, Leavenworth Bar.
Damn, that's a great question.
You also have Broncos or Neighbors.
Wow.
I think Barrett's.
I would shudder. Like, I don't think the city would have a very good time if they were like, we're taking La Casa.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not what I would pick.
Yeah, me too. But there are people
yeah.
that will fight you over La Casa.
Look, it was in that movie.
But it's specifically that, because they'll be like, oh, well, there's a La Casa at 168th and Pacific.
That ain't the same one.
No. There is not.
Yeah. There's only one Barrett's, though.
See, I think people will riot if Neighbors all of a sudden is bought up by the medical center. The QT is standing, but across the street, you're taking that?
Is there something cool, though, to be able to call that area the medical district?
The medical district.
Omaha will have the medical district. Yeah, you could build around Barrett's. It becomes like a really cool waiting room.
Don't touch the original Bronco Burger either, man. I'm just saying. These are historical landmarks of our city.
Is that the original Broncos or is the one on 120th?
Oh, there's no way. Leavenworth has to be, right? I mean, just from how our city works, right?
Is that one of those restaurants that if you're from Omaha, you used to go to, but you haven't been back in years?
No, I go to Bronco all the time. I go to Bronco Burger all the time. I love Broncos.
I'm indifferent. It's fine. It's good. It's not my favorite.
It's
not my least favorite.
Would you take
the feeling of nostalgia?
Would you take an out-of-towner that said, hey, I just want to get a burger?
Probably not.
God, yeah, I was going to say, I hope not.
Probably not. But I would go on my own time. I know what my options are.
Is it more of if it's on the way, or do you go out of your way to get there?
Oh.
No, I go.
So that's my problem.
I go to Broncos. Yeah, no,
you find Broncos.
I make a trip over to Broncos.
It's not. Oh, there's Broncos. It's you find it.
Corey says, and he works at UNMC. Most of the bars have already been bought on Leavenworth, but won't close for the next 5 years.
Oh no!
What? They're like ticking time bombs.
Hey, you cannot close Barrett's before the World Cup in 26.
Where
will people go to watch the World Cup?
That's true.
And then you have to wait till St. Patrick's Day the year after that.
Yeah. Oh man, imagine if St. Patrick's Day was their last hurrah. And
oh Jesus!
You would take stuff.
Yeah,
from Barrett's,
things would be coming off the floor and the wall.
I went to a wedding reception in the castle. I would like that piece.
Yeah. Oh, the amount of
damn medical center.
fun UNO parties at Castle
Why can't we
Barrett's.
get Sanford Health in town?
Joe asked, does Leavenworth Bar still have the bras hanging from the ceiling, or did they get canceled? I don't know. I don't know anything about
I
that.
have not been to Leavenworth Bar for a very long time.
Yes, they still are there.
TL3
That's
says,
in the last 3 years.
damn you guys, now I want grease from Broncos.
Yeah. You get yourself some grease.
Watch out.
All right. If this was a food show.
Yeah, this is a whole food crossover. Just save this in the
tomorrow
history of
we do
Omaha.
have to talk about what happened with the help yourself yogurt places.
A deep dive.
Is there maybe one or two?
I feel
left?
like there's one, and I can't remember where, but I always drive by it and go, that's the one that survived, huh?
Is the TCBY by Ralston Arena still there?
I haven't seen the TCBY in many years.
Is the TCBY by us still?
No.
It's gone?
Yeah.
Oh, RIP.
Yeah. Over at 144th and Maple.
Didn't Coach Osborne invest in a lot of those?
The TCBYs?
No. What was it? The red?
Red Mango?
Oh, Red Mango.
Yeah, Red Mango, yeah.
Did he? Oh, that's a tough look for
Yeah,
Coach.
that's a good
Probably
investment.
showed that episode with Seinfeld to him.
There's fat in it.
Hey, but that
It's not
is
fat-free.
a fad that blew up and then it just
Yeah. It was pretty big when I was in college. That's for sure.
Josh, that got me thinking because that's
Froyo,
the one that's in the
Froyo,
same
Froyo.
like strip as Addie's, right?
Yeah, yes,
Isn't it?
that one. Yeah.
Is it still?
I don't think it's there.
I don't think it is.
I don't think it's there.
Okay.
I think it's like a drive-up pharmacy now.
Oh,
I'm dead serious.
Okay,
Yeah.
maybe.
I'm dead serious.
Nope, it's still there.
Okay, 'cause
according to Google, it's
I was
still
just
there.
in the Lowe's
What
parking
is
lot, and
Google
I
know?
Opens in 90 minutes. It says.
Okay, good.
And it's usually it told me the Denny's was closed.
Oh, see, okay, yeah. I had to give that a second thought.
Okay, my bad. I
We still
apologize.
got TCBY.
TCBY.
All right, they're still going strong.
but that'd be kind of cool if it was a
Yeah,
Drive-through
It went from, it
It's
went
just
from
you
the
have to
country's-
take what you got. You have a drive-through
Yeah,
window. You
yeah.
have to put a
It went
pharmacy
from the country's best yogurt to that. Okay.
have a good show, guys.
All right, dudes, that's the crossover powered by Everlevel Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlevelconcrete.com. It's Tuesday. We'll start things off next.
That's the crossover. The Connor Happer Show is next on 1620 The Zone. Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
And I thought the quote from Ted Carter when he was asked the controversies that have followed Ross Bjork, Carter said, "A calm sea never produced a good sailor." That made me laugh too. To which I would say,
Thank you,
it
Andrew.
makes a big difference, though, when the guy you hired is the one throwing the bombs in the ocean to make rough seas.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
A quiet Tuesday ahead. Expect sunshine in the morning with more cloud cover moving in by the middle of the day. Expect clouds to hang around into the afternoon with light winds. Highs in the mid to upper 50s. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV News Watch 7.
Certified Transmission built its reputation on the job done right.
It means hard work, honesty, and integrity.
And together, we ensure our customers leave satisfied and worry-free.
Certified Transmission, the job done right at the right price.
Don't miss this week's Zone Deal.
This week's half-off deal is Copal Mexican Cuisine. Get $50 and gift certificates for only $25. Copal Mexican Cuisine, home of weekend brunch on Saturdays and Sundays with all-day happy hour on Sundays. Come check out Copal Mexican Cuisine, 129th and Maple.
Zone deals go fast. 9 a.m. Friday, 1620thezone.com.
Hi, I'm Kamiko, the founder of Miko's Hot Chicken. When we started our family restaurant, we were also raising a family. But let me tell you, it wasn't easy. Our Chase Inc. card was there to reward us on all of our business needs. Now we have a thriving location, and we're hungry for more.
With the Chase Inc. Business Unlimited card, you can earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for Business. Make more with yours. Real business owners compensated for their participation. Cards issued by J.P. Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
When you wake up well-rested on a great mattress, everything becomes clear.
That meeting could have been an email.
Things you missed when you were tired finally reveal themselves.
Look at all the things my neck can do now.
At Mattress Firm, we know the right mattress matters. That's why we give you 120 nights to make sure it's right for you, or your money back. Plus, you get free and fast delivery. Shop in-store or online at mattressfirm.com. The right mattress matters. We'll find yours. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Maverick baseball and softball home openers are here. Maverick softball opens Thursday with Valparaiso at Clausen Field, and baseball opens with Portland on Wednesday at Tal Anderson Field. Get your season tickets or single game tickets by calling 402-554-MAVS or going to omavs.com/tickets. Also, this weekend is the Hockey Series finale as Maverick Hockey takes on third-ranked North Dakota. Get your hockey tickets by calling the box office at 402-554-MAVS or by going to omavs.com/tickets.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's corporate cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp. Just go to ramp.com/sports. Ramp.com/sports. ramp.com/sports.
It's the Connor Happer Show. Are we sure we want to do this?
Could you, make an announcement that we're ready?
It's the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
All right, welcome in. Happy Tuesday. It's the Connor Happer Show here on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer and Josh Odson with you. We open up the local home baseball season today.
Connor, congratulations. Couldn't be happier for you.
Why are you happy for me?
Well, I mean, you're on the call.
Yes. I'll be the
home baseball.
I'll be the replacement voice of the Jays for the next couple of weeks.
You're watching baseball in a baseball stadium today. I know what that means to you.
Yep. The grass will be green.
Tarp was off yesterday.
Tarp was off. Yeah, I saw the folks out at Warner Park ripping the perma tarp off. Looked like they were getting some new wall dressing as well. It's gonna be sharp out there.
The only thing missing today, and there's still time, bunting. Not with the bat, but the red, white, and blue bunting.
Oh, I was thinking with the bat.
No. Opening day.
You mean there's not going to be any of that?
I don't know.
Okay. All right. Well, Creighton's playing, so I think there might be some. Yeah, maybe they dress it all up tonight at Charles Schwab Field. We put it to bed with the Pink concert last year. Then they ripped the whole thing up, and then we start over again. Prepare for the College World Series. We'll talk about our local baseball teams a little bit today, and we'll visit with a former member of our local baseball teams. Anthony Bemboom has been a journeyman in the minor leagues. Is in Detroit Tigers camp right now. Maybe I'll ask him how Tariq Scooble's doing.
Always happy for him.
It's got some Cy Young buzz this year. And he's a former Blue Jays, also a former Reaver.
That's right.
And he was drafted in, I believe, 2012. And he's just been kicking ever since. Has played 80-some games in the major leagues. I'm interested in the story behind that. So he will join the show today at noon. Allan Bell as well. We'll talk about some items from the NFL, like the Russell Wilson stuff, and Jason Kelsey's retirement presser, and what's up next in the betting world as we head into the period of really starting right now. It's like weird sports time, right? The NFL isn't on, so everybody else sees an opportunity to put their weird sports on television from now until like July, whether it's horse racing or obviously, college basketball takes the main stage. Just a whole bunch of event sports that pop up in the next couple months. So we'll talk to AB about some of those things coming up at 11:30, and Husker basketball with Jacob Bigelow of Huskers Illustrated in the Stretch Big Pod at 1 o'clock. That is the lineup, powered by the Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard. We will not spend much time on Arch Manning declining to be part of a video game This has triggered Josh in a way that I'm not sure I've seen in a little while. He is really not. He does not want to hear it with the Arch Manning video game.
This is not a story.
Do you not even want to hear the jokes?
Add it. I might be in for some jokes.
Love the jokes.
Yeah. It's like the beef jerky and the Brian Ferentz and all that jazz. Just put it over there.
Matter.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
He doesn't need $600.
No, it does not matter. But the joke is funny because the reasoning that he's declining to be in the game is pretty hilarious, which is I would like to focus on school and not be in a video game, or focus on regular playing football, which I don't know if he knows how like the space-time continuum works, but maybe needs to learn a little bit. Charlie Baker, the NCAA president, is trying to guilt trip you into a larger NCAA tournament. Do not take the bait.
Won't do it.
Russell Wilson, his time in Denver is over. We will look back on the trade that brought him there and the contract that still hasn't kicked in yet. That's right. Russell Wilson signed a 5-year, $242 million contract that he has not played a snap of yet. And he will be released by the Denver Broncos next week.
Oh,
yeah, that's a big yikes. So we'll talk about that a little bit today during the show. A couple of things on the Big Ten and SEC's greed as it pertains to the college football playoff. Matt Rule showing up in a coach ranking. It's list season for college football. Matt Rule showing up in a coach ranking. We'll discuss that. And I have, of course, a thought on Josh Donaldson's retirement. My favorite play of Josh Donaldson's career was when he almost laid out and got that ground ball in the 2014 American League wildcard game. People forget. But he did not. He did not.
Wasn't meant to be.
Last night I ran into the treasure trove of all of the NSAA state championships on YouTube. Holy God, what a gold mine. What an amazing thing that the NSAA has done for us. They're in the process of putting up all of basically everything they have in like the NET era, right? Up on YouTube for digital consumption. And it's the entire broadcast too, like with commercials.
Oh,
yeah.
Fun.
So, like, I think people do this. You go back and you watch like old Super Bowls or old bowl games and stuff, and it's best when it keeps the commercials in there because it really puts you into the time. It makes you of that time. So last night I watched my high school's senior year, our team winning the state championship with John Bishop on the call.
Oh,
it was like this combination of worlds for me. It's like, wow, there I am. My wife is in there. She was on the dance team.
Oh, wow.
And, all my best friends are all there. One of my best friends is on the court. Got to make fun of him because he missed a whole bunch of free throws and basically was just the guy who came in to foul people during the game.
Your 6 fouls. Get out there. Or 5 or whatever.
I believe he totaled 4 fouls and 2 rebounds in that game and a couple missed free throws. And it was and John Bishop got to be the voice of all this. What an amazing thing that the NSAA has done. So go back and take a look at some of these old state championship games. It's a really, really great moment in time. I wish there was better documentation of like the quarterfinal and semifinal games of all these years, but like you can only get what you get, and you get what's televised. And super fun dive. I'm going to be watching a few of those over the next few days and weeks as the state tournament starts tomorrow. Is this a Wednesday through Saturday event now, or a Tuesday through Saturday? Well, you know who would know? Our friends over at the News Channel of Nebraska.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see.
And the gold jackets.
Not today. Not today.
Well, sure. It's Tuesday.
Looks like it'll be tomorrow, probably.
Okay.
All right. So there we go. We'll be checking out like Class C1 basketball tomorrow afternoon during the show. All right.
Yep, you are correct. Tomorrow.
Would love you to get in touch with the show. Please do. 402-951-1620 on the 42 Degrees The Source hotline. You can text there as well. Text us your favorite defunct Froyo place if you'd like to get the topic started today.
What was the other one? It was red mango and...
They were all just like color and fruit.
Yeah.
Color, fruit. It was just basically a mad lib of places that you could come up with for all the Froyo places. You can tweet at us at Happer Show, at Connor Happer, on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed. Email Connor at 1620thezone.com.
Orange Leaf. Thank you, everyone.
There it is on the Equitable Bank inbox. Speaking of the Equitable Bank inbox, I already got several questions from old man Doug this morning on his own Equitable Bank inbox. All right, number one, to a Nebraska basketball fan, what is / would be a bigger accomplishment? Winning the NIT, winning the Big 8, Big 10? Doug, this is 2024 tournament, and getting a 3 seed, winning the Big oh, okay, so we're going back. Big 8 tournament and getting a 3 seed, winning the Big 10 tournament, or winning a game in the NCAA tournament. I think I can answer that one quickly. It doesn't matter how many conference tournaments you win. It would be great, but your program only becomes legitimized when you win an NCAA tournament game. Sorry, that's how it works. If you're the only one left in the Power 5 in the major high major conferences in college basketball, you that's like, sorry, nothing else matters until you do that.
Mm-hmm.
We grade the rest of the sport on tournament success, so we have to do this one as well. Number 2 from Doug. If Nebraska doesn't win a game in the NCAA tournament, should Josh cancel them? I think they'd be auto-canceled.
Well, yeah. But I will be here to dunk on you.
3, does Connor Happer look like Yukon Cornelius and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer?
Yes, I've made many graphics to that fact.
4, does Nebraska basketball get too much press for just being decent? Queso Tamagotchi.
Queso Tamagotchi is not a question.
That is, it has a question mark after it. So,
too much. I mean, they're the local team.
Yeah, I mean, people care about them. Like, no, I don't think they get too much attention. No, I actually don't. I do not think they get too much attention. I think they get a normal amount of attention, especially when you compare it to the same school's football team.
I hear what you're saying, though, Doug.
Like it's all suppressed. No, I mean, people are excited about Nebraska basketball right now because they have a chance to win their first ever NCAA tournament game.
Yes, that's exciting.
That is exciting, and that is well worth publicity.
Hope you play in Omaha.
Josh, you're so negative about the red team.
Not negative. I want the best for them, and the best is them playing in Omaha.
What if they don't play in Omaha and they still win, and then you'll be wrong again?
Well, then we're right where we are today.
Let's keep doubling down, my friend.
That's what Darren Rovell does.
Join us on YouTube, 1620 The Zone TV, or, of course, conveniently located on our website at 1620thezone.com. The Mason Daniel writes in on Nebraska basketball getting attention. Nebraska basketball doesn't get 1/100th of the attention that football gets, and this is by far the best season that either has had in years. I tend to agree exactly with Amazing Daniel.
Yeah.
And when they're not good, we just forget about them. When Nebraska football is not good, we can never forget. We are reminded. There's constant reminders. It's there all the time. All right. So once again, Allan Bell will join us at the bottom of the 11 o'clock hour. Anthony Bemboom at noon and Jacob Bigelow at 1. We'll come back and fire things up. So we dive into. We also have I want to do a bracket check-in today. But I want to let Josh get some things off his chest as it pertains to Arch Manning not being in a video game. He's clearly got some things to say.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for that runway.
Next on 1620 The Zone.
Omaha's most listened to all sports radio station. Again and again and again. 1620 The Zone.
The Zone hotline is powered by 42 Degrees. The Source. By your mom's house.
I have a secret. I use Secret Whole Body Deodorant because more than just my armpits stink.
Oh, can I use it where my bra rubs under my...
Oh, yeah.
And what about down there? My...
Totally. 4 out of 5 gynecologists would recommend it. So I tried it, and now I get 72 hours of freshness from my pits to my...
Ooh, I love that it's a spray.
Me too. And it comes in sticks and creams, too. Go get your Secret Whole Body Deodorant.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
If you're having problems in the bedroom, talking about it is the last thing you want to do. Same goes for hair loss, anxiety, or even depression. That's where HIMS comes in. Through HIMS, you don't have to talk about it. You can do something about it. Just go to hims.com/start, where you can find a variety of potential solutions for the problems men face every day.
and save up to 95% on generic alternatives. The entire process is 100% online, making it incredibly simple, straightforward, and above all, private. If prescribed, treatments made using clinically proven ingredients are shipped directly to your door in low-key packaging. So if you're experiencing ED, hair loss, anxiety, or problems with your general health, you don't have to go to the doctor, the pharmacy, or spend all day talking about it. Just go to hims.com/start and do something about it. Get started today at hims.com/start. That's HIMS.com/START.
Hey there, Greg Wagner joining you from the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission. Time now for another Nebraska Outdoor Update. Well, it's time. Time to get all your new permits and stamps for hunting, fishing, fur harvesting, and state parks. Time to check your motorboat registration for renewal. Time to make those cabin and camping reservations in the state parks if you haven't done that already. And time to go over all of your outdoor gear for spring and summer. There you go. Have a good one in the great outdoors. I'm Greg Wagner.
Hi, we're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that we can give our daughters everything they need to grow and learn. But not every child can focus on classes and play dates.
Nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. face hunger. That's 1 in 6. School lunch might be their only meal each day, and it's heartbreaking to imagine any child going to bed hungry. We're dreaming of a perfect day when kids can smile, play, and just be kids without worrying about where their next meal will come from. Feeding America is working to make that perfect day a reality.
Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste. That food is given to families and children in need. Being a kid should be about doing things that make an ordinary day extraordinary. Learning to play an instrument, building a sandcastle, hosting tea parties. Hunger should never be an obstacle to growing up.
You can help end childhood hunger in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Omaha fans, are you ready to score tickets to your favorite events hassle-free? Yes. Shop local tickets for less, located right here in Omaha at 145th and West Center Road. No hidden fees, just transparent pricing. And when you use the promo code THEZONE at checkout, you'll save big at ticketsforless.com. Whether it's sports, concerts, or something else, Tickets for Less has you covered. If you have a question, call today, 402-398-1999. You'll never find better customer service because every seat holds a story. Find yours and use the promo code THEZONE at checkout at ticketsforless.com.
Tickets for Less. Best seats, best prices, no service fees. Shop ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
There's been over 10,000 college athletes who have opted into the new video game that is set to release late this summer regarding college football. EA Sports College Football back for the first time in more than a decade. More than 10,000, Josh. But there's only about, I think somebody did the math, about 12,000 Division I, or I should say FBS scholarship players that are out there. So we're getting close to 100% participation. Texas's backup quarterback, Arch Manning, one of the more popular players in college football because his name is Arch and his last name is Manning. And he's a mouth breather, has decided that he will not be taking part in this illustrious moment in our history. Okay, that's okay. I respect your decision, Mr. Manning, but why? And I was told about this tweet from Anwar Richardson of OrangeBloods.com last night that read the following. Multiple people have told me that Texas redshirt quarterback Arch Manning will not opt into EA Sports College Football 25. I'm told Arch is focused on playing football on the field. And I thought, okay, I'm going to go ahead and look this up because that's a fake tweet. That cannot be the reason for not being a part of a video game.
Well, good for you. You're double checking your facts there.
Yeah, but it was the real Anwar Richardson, and this is real reporting. And that is the reason, apparently. So, Josh.
Now, there's not much you have to do after saying yes.
Yes. I'm told Arch is focused on playing football on the field.
And so the natural response is, how does Arch think video games work? Does he think that his body, his being, is transported into the video game and it will preclude him from playing real football? Because that's not how video games work, Mr. Manning. That's not how it goes.
Some kid in Tupelo playing on PS5, my knee blew out.
I would actually argue that opting out of the video game as he has created more of a rift in the whole what do I have to focus on playing football versus not playing football thing than he probably ever intended. Now it's a distraction to not be in it. So how'd that turn out for you, Mr. Manning? How'd it turn out for you? Not very good. Not very good.
Arch Manning doesn't care about you nerds and your video games.
Josh, why are you on his side here?
Because first
do
of all,
you think being in a video game causes distractions and is leading to him focusing on not football?
All of those children get their free copy of the game and they'll spend hours playing it. Arch Manning wants to crack a playbook like his uncles.
So
like, hey, I'm reading books.
So you're saying he's opting out of the video game in order to not receive a comped copy of the video game because of the danger of potentially playing it when he's supposed to be playing football.
Tractor beam sucked me right in.
That's it. That's a big brain move there, Josh.
Just thought of it.
Good thought. I'd say maybe just take the copy of the video game and don't play it or give it to somebody else.
He doesn't need your $600. Ooh, whoopity doo.
Okay, let's go Galaxy Brain here then.
And his name isn't Quinn.
Aaron on the text line has this to offer.
Hi, Aaron.
He says, okay, I'm being serious here. And yes, Josh, we've done it. We've done the impossible. We've made this into a real conversation.
Damn it.
Is this just a smart way to raise his profile and make more money from it? The amount of takes I've seen about this has brought him a ton of attention. Way more than $600 worth.
So
this has been brilliant marketing.
It's been 30 years or more since Michael Jordan opted out of a video game and Ken Griffey Jr. opted out of a video game. And I still remember that they opted out of video games.
Yeah. I remember John Dowd. I remember John Dowd, left fielder for the San Francisco Giants.
Yeah. You might be onto something there. I'm a star.
Amazing.
Like I'm
amazing.
Yeah.
We love the sports news cycle that we have going on right now. Is everything just a ploy to get more attention and make more money?
My value is more than $600 on a video game. I'm a Manning.
Now, Doc said the following, and I don't know if Arch has followed up on this, but I seem to remember one time where Arch Manning said he wasn't going to do any NIL deals until he actually plays football.
This could be part of that.
But you could also just say no thank you to the money, and no, if it was really that important to you to not get $600, and say no thank you to the copy of the video game and just lend your name, image, and likeness to the video game instead of. Okay, so now I'm on your and Aaron's side with the whole. This is just a marketing deal. I don't know if it's to get more money from the video game specifically.
No, there's no counter offer here.
No, I don't think they're going to be like, oh, fine, we'll pay you $800 to be in the video game. No, but we're certainly talking about it for some reason. Mostly because we have nothing else better to do.
Arch Manning.
Jeremy asked, why didn't he take the money and then make himself look good and donate the money to charity? Could have done that.
Great question. I'm sure his uncles maybe he could, his uncle Peyton loved Chris Mortensen. Maybe there's a Chris Mortensen related charity he could have given the $600 to.
Text from the 402, Manning would probably play more in the video game since he is second string in Texas.
To a man named Quinn. I got takes colliding here, and I don't know what to do.
Yeah, we're still sussing this out. I think we're still figuring out which side we land on. Yep. I didn't know there was another side to this. To be honest, I thought it was just a funny joke. What does he think? How does he think the space-time continuum works? How does he think video games work? I'm very confused about this. But there is always more to the story, Josh. We're going even further now from Wired Access Podcast. I mean, look at all the publicity that Sam Keller got when he went against the NCAA game. Did Sam Keller suing the NCAA make him more money from publicity? No, it actually made him like the worst human alive and canceled the video game.
But I remember his name in a way that I would not have otherwise.
I don't know. We would have remembered Sam Keller quite a bit.
I don't know.
In Nebraska, we would have. In other places, maybe not. Maybe not. Wow. What a time. What a time to be alive.
I'm glad we did.
I fully anticipated just making a bunch of jokes and then having a 2-minute segment and getting out of here, but here we are.
I'm glad the audience helped us really brainstorm this collectively.
So where'd we land?
I think he might be doing a thing. Like, no, I'll boost my brand this way.
Damn it.
Because they won't let me play.
This is horrible. What have we become? He genuinely seems like a kid, though, who doesn't really care about any of that stuff. So that's the thing that probably rolls against it.
I've seen like 2, I don't know, like profiles on him. And, obviously they're edited and, made to look a certain way. But
he's a pretty down-to-earth, normal guy.
Yeah, I mean, he babysits on the weekends. Yeah. Like that's what
he doesn't do anything. Yeah. He's a Manning.
Yeah.
He wears a buttoned-up collared shirt tucked into khakis. That's what he does.
And
so maybe there's not anything else going on here. Now I'm flipping again.
It turned out that those brothers we thought were just a bunch of dumb yokels are really sports media masterminds.
That's true. That's true. They have figured out how to leverage their likeness of just being white guys into a lot of different things, including a whole broadcast that millions of people watch during Monday Night Football.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a 6-second delay in between them talking to each other. Still haven't figured that out.
Got to fix that.
4 years post COVID now. We got to figure that. We got to put these guys in the same place.
Yep.
Somehow.
When we re-up the contract, that has to be a sticking point. ESPN.
John emails in on the Equitable Bank inbox.
Hi, John.
Obviously, a guy named Quinn is not mentally strong enough to resist playing a video game for himself for 18 hours a day.
This guy gets it.
Arch is just preparing himself to take over the starting spot.
Mm-hmm. What if Quinn injures his thumb trying to hit the spin move or the juke button too hard? And Arch needs to be ready.
I cannot wait until that happens this year. Somebody gets hurt. Somebody gets to be put on an injury report because they were playing too many vids. And then all of the conversation afterwards. But it won't happen.
Purdue quarterback has fractured his orbital bone after one of his offensive linemen punched him in the face during a dispute over a video game.
Yeah, quarterback has blurred vision because he was staring at the TV for too long. These are all options. So potential things that we have to deal with now in our video game full society.
That's right.
Look at where we are. Look at what vids have done to us.
You thought these were problems before.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, now we're cooking. All right, coming up. I got a list for you that you might be interested in.
A listicle?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, what's the difference between a list and a listicle?
Well, a
listicle has blurbs.
It tells you it's an article, but it's actually just a list.
Okay, I think that makes this a listicle then.
Okay.
Because there's blurbs in it. There's little blurbs on each of these people.
Sounds like a listicle.
Yeah, but there's not a slideshow. It's just words.
Okay. Might just be a list then.
It's a good list.
Okay.
From our friend Bruce Feldman.
Oh, Bruce.
He has ranked the top 25 coaches in the country.
Oh.
Ranking the top 25 football coaches. Is Matt Rule on here? How many Big Ten coaches are on here? Is the Big Ten still the best coach league in America? Was it ever? Many questions coming out of this list or listicle to discuss next on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
It's the most time-honored tradition to start the weekend, grabbing a cold one from a local Nebraska brewery. Let's be real here. It's cold outside, and you don't want to drink the same boring beer as those Hawkeye fans. Drink Nebraska-brewed beer, cider, or seltzers instead. Each week, we're putting the spotlight on a unique Nebraska brewery with One Beer Friday. Share your brew on social media with the hashtag One Beer Friday, and you'll be entered to win a $25 gift card to a local Nebraska brewery. Nebraska is the good life with great beer. Click nebraska.beer to learn more.
There is only one constant in the universe, and that's change.
Brent Rasmussen of Mortgage Specialists.
I'm sure many of you remember the incredibly low interest rates that were available only a few years ago. Well, things changed. Now rates are higher. But would you believe me if I told you there was a time when people were paying double-digit rates? And that's the thing. Everything changes. Rates go up, rates go down. So if you're waiting for the perfect time when rates drop before you buy a home, you might miss out on the home you really want. So when you think about it, what's a thing today might not be a thing tomorrow. See? Change is good. I'm Brent Rasmussen. Call me at Mortgage Specialists, and we can show you all the details. Mortgage Specialists. Driven, trusted, reliable.
Click mtg-specialists.com. NMLS number 5918, Equal Housing Lender.
Hear that? The sound of adorable little birds in your garden. And if you were here, you'd taste the 2 sweet but tiny tomatoes you grew all by yourself. But you're not here. Because your self-care happens when you're riding your motorcycle protected by Progressive on your way to the store for a pack of normal-sized tomatoes. So if you ride, switch to Progressive, America's #1 motorcycle insurer, without getting your hands dirty. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential. But finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
The Zone Inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. Email me, Connor Happer, with the Connor Happer Show at Connor, CONNOR, at 1620thezone.com. Send me your love, your hate, and maybe a few hot takes. The Zone Inbox, presented by Equitable Bank.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
The Big Ten announced their women's basketball first team and all, player of the year, defensive player of the year, all of these awards.
Okay.
Here just a couple minutes ago.
How'd we do?
Who do you think won the player of the year in the Big Ten women's conference?
Look, I know I get accused of being a hot takey guy sometimes, but my hot take is that Caitlin Clark won that award.
You'd be right. 3 straight years.
Nailed it.
For Caitlin.
I know ball.
Unanimous first teamer, along with Mackenzie Holmes from Indiana, who had that stare down of Caitlin Clark that one time. That was cool. J.C. Sheldon, the young woman who was attempted throat punched by Caitlin Clark, also on the first team, along with Alexis Markowski from Nebraska. Natalie Potts is predictably the freshman of the year because she won the Freshman of the Week award, I think, 10 times this year.
That'll get the job done.
Yep.
For sure.
Nebraska's Jazz Shelley on the second team.
That's a snub
by the coaches in the media. I think she was first. Gosh, they do this.
How many people are on the first team?
You know, if there's one, that's what I was just going to get to.
Okay,
Josh.
sorry.
If there's one thing that I wish we could all, like, I am generally against the, like, all of the conferences coming together and having one set of rules, because I kind of like the idea of the individuality between the conferences. I think
there are some pros to it.
I think it's like old school. Now there's some things where I fly in the face of this. And one of them is announcing our all conference teams. How many people are on a basketball floor at the same time, Josh? You know ball, right?
5.
So I think that should reflect your all conference team. Now I'm fine with picking, if there's 3 point guards on the list, I'm fine with just taking the top 5.
Positionless basketball.
I'm fine with positionless basketball. I'm fine with taking the top 5 because maybe the third best player in the league is also the third best point guard, whatever it might be, the third best center. So the first team, all Big Ten, where the coaches and the media was all the same this year. I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 on the first team.
That's too many.
And the second team has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 24 players.
2 teams, it's not enough.
There's really only supposed to be 10.
Yeah.
And the Big East does it stupid too, because they have like a first team and a second team, and they have 5 on those, I think. But then the player of the year is not on the first team. He's just the player of the year. Which I
transcends the first team.
I think I'd prefer it that way to 24 people being on the first and second team.
Yeah.
Personally. But still kind of dumb. Anyway. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I appreciate it. To the list. Bruce Feldman. Ranking the top 25 college football coaches. Norvell Kiffin rising in Bruce Feldman's list. This is by Bruce Feldman and Bruce Feldman only. Although he says there is a caveat. Even with all the shakeup in the sport, I think it's hard to include coaches who haven't spent at least 3 seasons as a head coach. Guys like Dan Lanning, Mike Elko.
Okay.
It's too short of a shelf life to compare resumes with other coaches. Since Stuart Mandel and I began doing these dueling top 25 coach rankings, this seems to be by far the hardest year to do it. So without further ado, here we go. Here's this year's ranking. Number 1 coach in the country, Kirby Smart.
Bold choice.
Number 2 coach in the country, Dabo Swinney.
Overrated.
Kind of an interesting number 2, right? And so what we're seeing now, Josh, and we'll get to this bigger point, but I want you to kind of remember this as we go forward. This sport is now Jim Harbaugh-less. This sport is now Nick Saban-less. This sport is now Urban Meyer-less. It's interesting. I don't know.
Artie's up for all the jobs, though.
He always says he can take any job he wants. I'm actually not sure that's true. Maybe that ship has sailed by this point.
I think it has.
For Herbs. But some of the titans of the sport, at least how we've known it over the last 5 or 10 years, are gone. Urban's been gone for a few years now, but Saban and Harbaugh both calling it quits in the same year, or Harbaugh going off for the NFL and Saban calling it quits. And that leaves a pretty big empty space that is, of course, going to be occupied by Kirby Smart, who's won national championships. Dabo, who's won national championships. After that, you have a couple options on what to do. Would you just slot in Ryan Day, who is slated to have his best team at Ohio State this year?
No, I don't think I would, actually.
Would you just slot in the best job in the country, taken over by a coach who is well-respected prior to taking over the best job in America, or maybe the hardest job in America too, taking over for Nick Saban and Kalen DeBoer? You could do that.
You could.
Or would you go with a guy, this is just Bruce Feldman, who is respected around the country and has now been paid in reflection of that respect? Lance Leipold, the number 3 coach in the country, according to Bruce Feldman.
Okay.
Then Kalen DeBoer, then Ryan Day.
Let's get weird.
Now we got Brian Kelly, James Franklin at 7. He'll just never move from there. That's fine. He'll just stay there forever.
Yeah.
Kyle Whittingham at Utah, Lincoln Riley at USC, Mike Norvell at Florida State rounds out your top 10. So one thing you noticed right away, of course, with the absence of Nick Saban and Jim Harbaugh, I'm interested in where the Big Ten, the Big Ten doesn't have a top 4 coach in the country, according to this list. That's new. That's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Not everybody's sure about Ryan Day. They know he's going to have a really talented team this year, but what does that mean for Ryan Day as a coach? I mean, they have high standards at Ohio State.
He's going to win a lot of games, but the coach of Ohio State will win 10 games every year.
He doesn't have because of that reason, Josh, he doesn't have like the name brand of a Dabo Sweeney or a Kirby Smart at this point. Whether you like it or not, I think that's just not how he's viewed across the country. James Franklin's in at number 7 and Lincoln Riley's in at number 9. And those are the Big Ten coaches in the top 10, 3 in the top 10. We go forward. Steve Sarkisian, Chris Kleiman, Jeff Brom, Mark Stoops. Still no Big Ten. Kirk Ferentz, number 15. I have no problem with it, by the way. I think that's a well-deserved spot at 15. Matt Rule at Nebraska, number 18.
Hey.
Luke Fickell at Wisconsin, number 19. Jonathan Smith at Michigan State, number 22.
Really?
Jed Fish at Washington, number 24. Rich Rod made the cut at Jacksonville State at 25. We have a lot of different areas being represented on this list now. It's not just all the best Big Ten coaches and all the best SEC coaches, and you just throw them in there. Matt Rule, the 5th best in the Big Ten. Obviously, the conference looks a whole lot different without Jim Harbaugh, right? Once Urban Meyer left, Jim Harbaugh took the mantle. If we're just talking about Big Ten coaches, once Urban Meyer left, Jim Harbaugh took it over as kind of the elder statesman, the biggest winner, the most kind of buzz around him in the league. He's the most well-respected coach in the conference, and he has the winning to reflect it, right? 3 college football playoff appearances in a row and finishing it off with a national championship. But he's gone. He's off to the NFL. So maybe in the Big Ten, it's a little bit more about the staffs, because I think we could still say that the Big Ten is like known as the best coached league in the country. We hear players talk about it all the time. And of course, we're close to it, but coaches talk about it all the time. Maybe the Big Ten is more about staffs than it is about the actual coaches. Okay. And I'm interested in what that means for guys like Lincoln Riley at USC, guys like Jed Fish at Washington, guys like Dan Lanning at Oregon. Is your staff airtight enough? Do you have great coaches up and down, and then reflected by great play on the field, up and down? Because one thing I think we've learned about the Big Ten is that if you don't, you will be exposed. And those areas, those holes will be magnified. People in the Big Ten will take advantage. So what happens? Lincoln Riley has all this, kind of fanfare surrounding his name because he's Lincoln Riley and he's a top 10 coach in the country. Maybe that's the case. Maybe it's not. But what's the rest of his staff look like? What's he done with the rest of his staff? And where are the strengths and weaknesses on his actual team and how it looks this year? My guess is that is probably going to be, that's going to be good for another loss or two on the schedule, not only because of the toughness of the schedule, but the Big Ten has this way of finding your weakness and exposing it.
God, it really does.
They do. It's just that's how the league has been. So you got to be strong everywhere. I think you can feel confident that Nebraska has a really strong coaching staff, something they haven't always had. They've had good coaches. They haven't necessarily had really strong coaching staffs. And I think in this case, they certainly do. So I'm interested in sort of obviously what happens to the league when USC, Washington, UCLA, and USC, USC join. But also those coaches, how they're viewed. For Mandel's list, by the way, he had Leipold at 2. Which I love.
Wow.
I love to see those guys getting their respect.
Yeah.
Even though it feels like every year when we do these coaches lists, it's like, well, here's what I have to do. I have to put the 4 teams that are going to be in the playoff every year at the top because they're going to be in the playoff.
Uh-huh. You don't have to do that now that the playoff's bigger.
The playoff's bigger. And I think generally it's definitely okay to say, hey, maybe this guy's not an elite program, but he's done a really elite job. On Mandel's list, Matt Rule is not on it.
Wow.
Not ranked.
Canceled.
In the top 25. Which I mean, look, his career record is 50 and 52. Or 52 and 50, sorry. They went 5-7 last year. But there's real reasons to keep him off. That's for sure. But when you win, you will make your way back onto lists like this. All right, a couple. Let's see. Did we get some emails here? Oh, it was just on the all Big Ten team stuff. Drunk Monk says everybody loved Rule until he came to Nebraska. That's not true. Everybody still loves Rule even though he's out. Drunk Monk, don't do that. Everybody still loves Matt Rule.
18 is very good.
Everybody would say that Matt Rule is in a good spot and that's turning around and it's moving in the best direction possible. And it wasn't just like, oh well, he's at Nebraska now, so I gotta hate him. No, it's not. That's not what's happening. It's okay. Just give it a couple minutes here. Don't worry. You'll be fine.
Let them realize.
Yeah. So I'm super interested to see what happens with these coaches and their staffs specifically because they'll learn. Like I can't wait till next summer, like the summer of 25, when we have that first run through with the West Coast schools. Hey, what'd you learn? Well, I learned a lot. We learned a lot.
Physical league. We knew it was physical. We didn't know how physical.
There's still going to be that. Like that's always going to be the soul, I think, of the Big Ten. No matter how much you dilute it with West Coast schools being included in the conversation, they're still going to have to adapt. Maybe the adjustment won't be as severe because of what their schedules look like because they play all the West Coast schools. Like is what Nebraska had to deal with when joining a new league and the culture shift that was involved in that. So maybe it won't take as long, but there will definitely be an adjustment period for those coaches.
We need depth.
And you get to find out. Yeah, you get to find out how good those staffs are. And it's not just recruiting. Like in the Big Ten, like you can't afford to have USC has done this before. USC is, in fact, it's worked for them in the past where they'll have a couple spots on their staff, on their full-time, like 10-man, formerly known as the 9-man staff, where maybe from a position coach, like, okay, where are we going to put them? But they're really on the full-time staff to recruit. They have the recruiter tag placed on them. USC's done that in the past. Oregon's done that in the past. And they've had success with it. I don't know if you can afford to do that anymore. Like, who on Nebraska's staff right now would you be like, yep, recruiter? Like they have a recruiter tag more than the coach tag.
I wouldn't, yeah.
I don't think anybody. I think they have a bunch of good recruiters on their staff.
Mm-hmm.
This is not to say that they don't, but I don't think it's necessarily a good thing in this league if you are looking through a staff and you're going through and tagging guys and you're saying, oh, that guy's here because he can recruit, not because he can coach defensive backs or linebackers or whatever, is elite at coaching. That guy's here to recruit. I don't think there's anybody on Nebraska's staff that's that. I think Iowa has a couple good recruiters that you would say these guys are the best recruiters on their staff, but they can coach, like LeVar Woods. Same. It's going to be the same thing for like that. That idea will spread to the West Coast schools. And the sooner that they figure it out, the better. I just don't think you can get away with it. I don't think you can get away with having a hole in your staff in the Big Ten. That's one thing that they'll probably take a year and they'll have to figure out. Super interested to see how it goes for year one of those schools. All right.
Nobody tell them.
Yeah. No, I mean, you can tell them as much as you want. It won't matter. It won't matter. We can go back and think, oh, man, I wish I would have listened when Nebraska did. It's like, you can't know until you know. You cannot know until you do it once. So it's, the other schools in the league like Nebraska have come from an advantageous position. This doesn't mean they're going to beat both of those teams, right? But over a season, those weaknesses are magnified in this conference. That's for sure. Coming up later, we'll talk about Charlie Baker trying to guilt you into the NCAA tournament expanding. They say, don't worry. It's not going to be 96. Nobody wants 96. It's just 80. Still don't want it, Charlie.
Don't want that.
Still don't want it. And they're trying to make you the reason why. We'll explain that a little bit later on in the show. But we'll come back with our good friend Allan Bell. What's AB up to in our weird sports betting season? Coming up on 1620 The Zone. But first, I do have a reminder for you all. As we mentioned, the basketball championship is fast approaching, and we have a sweet giveaway for you, an exclusive watch party. In fact, exclusive watch parties. We got you covered here at 1620 The Zone with 1620 The Watch Party, with a couple of them at Backlot Tap House in Exarban for you and your crew. And the grand prize, we're taking 1620 The Watch Party on the road, or really through the air. Thank God we're not on the road, to Las Vegas. And you are invited. One grand prize winner will score a flyaway to Las Vegas and stay at the Circa Resort and Casino. It's going to be beautiful in just a couple weeks. Join in on the fun with us. You can hang out or not with Josh, Nick, and I down in Vegas. Head to the website, 1620thezone.com right now. It's 1620 The Watch Party, powered by Circa Resort and Casino and Backlot Tap House.
Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
Roughly 11,000 players in college football, so they're getting $600 a piece. If you do the math, that's $6.6 million that they're paying out in NIL deals. No one has negotiated this $6.6 million figure on behalf of any player. This was a number that they set.
Yeah, and I'd be very interested to know how they came to that number, right?
Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
A quiet Tuesday ahead. Expect sunshine in the morning with more cloud cover moving in by the middle of the day. Expect clouds to hang around into the afternoon with light winds. Highs in the mid to upper 50s. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV News Watch 7.
More with Connor and Josh after this.
We're going to have an extensive professional relationship, my man.
On 1620 The Zone.
Blowout sale at Leach Camper Sales in Council Bluffs.
And don't forget, coffee's always on.
If you're unhappy with your job or employer and you've hit a dead end, it's time to start your new career as a delivery driver with Host Coffee. Our local family-owned business is growing, and we now have openings for delivery drivers and other positions starting at $22 an hour with full benefits. If you're interested, visit hostcoffee.net/careers to connect with us.
Host Coffee is always roasting something good for you.
It's mulch better at Lanahaw. Planning to wake up your tired yard for spring? Make your landscape the envy of the neighborhood with mulch from Lanahaw's Garden Center, where quality is always a priority. Convenient pickup or delivery available. Lanahaw Nurseries, 192nd and Center.
She posted about us just now.
Celebrities can't get enough of Bianna's bespoke skincare line.
She has 147 million followers. How do we monetize?
She needs a social media associate to help her with the hype.
We should repost this. Do we need a hashtag?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
If weekend brunch makes you happy, and Sunday happy hour makes you happy, and delicious Mexican foods make you happy, then come to Copal Mexican Cuisine this weekend and get happy, happy, happy. It starts with brunch on Saturday and Sunday that includes Mexican favorites and brunch classics with something for everyone. Then it's Sunday Fun Day happy hour with happy hour prices all day. So come on, get happy at Copal Mexican Cuisine. Find them on Facebook and at 129th and Maple. Traditional Mexican flavors with a modern culinary touch.
The Zone Hotline is powered by 42 Degrees. The Source. By your mom's house.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's corporate cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp. Just go to ramp.com/sports. Ramp.com/sports. ramp.com/sports.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Allan Bell, the AB3, on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
All right, we're joined now on the 42 Degrees of Source hotline by our dear friend, Allan Bell, the AB3, driving the line. Allan, good morning. How are you, my friend?
Good morning, buddy. Doing fantastic, man. You doing all right?
We're doing great. We were discussing at length during the crossover earlier in the show, breakfast joints. How often does Allan Bell go out for breakfast?
Ooh, I'm a big breakfast guy. Not only breakfast in the morning, but I could go breakfast all 3 meals. You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, I'm definitely in on breakfast. What was the topic?
Well,
were you guys giving like your favorite spot?
Well, we lost. We recently lost apparently a Perkins, the last remaining Perkins in Omaha.
Oh, Tiger Woods is going to be upset.
Indeed, and we have noticed like the Village Inns are kind of going away a little bit. The Perkins are going away. I'm sorry, we lost the last Denny's in Omaha. And,
wow!
And so places like that are kind of just fewer and far between, which is great. We see a lot of local great breakfast joints around town, but there was always something to either showing up to the Perkins, the Denny's, or the Village Inn at about 1:00 in the morning, or when you're like violently hungover at like 8:30 and just ordering everything that's on the menu.
Yeah, I'll ask you this, man, because this is what I've seen in Nashville, and you bring up an interesting point that I feel like the last couple of years, like the options for food, like all the places that were really big, like after midnight, besides Waffle House, are gone. Like even Walmart's closed now. I didn't even know that Walmart's closed. You know what I mean? So like, I feel like those places that were really popular, overnight, and this is probably, more of an economic, discussion, but yeah, like
that's true though. I don't think I've ever seen a Walmart close. I hadn't really thought about that before.
Yeah, like I swear to you, like over the last 3 years, nothing in Nashville is open after midnight. Like it's almost it's crazy. Like besides like the bars downtown, like if you want to go get some food, like all these places close at like 10, 11, and I get it. It's probably a staffing issue, right? But yeah, like to the larger point, man, like it's the same thing here. Like we're losing a lot of those spots, but like you said, I feel like the family, local business, like food wise, they're all getting into like the breakfast thing, which is good.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
It's a good thing. Totally. It's a good thing for options. That's for sure. Yeah. But it's just a different time now than it was. You mentioned something too.
Here's the question.
Go ahead.
Here's the question. Like breakfast wise, are you a eggs and bacon and biscuit type of person, or are you like a sweets? Like you like pancakes, waffles? Like which fork in the road do you take if you're going standard breakfast?
Like we're Midwesterners, Allan. We got to go with the hearty stuff. Like if you want to throw every breakfast item into a thing and call it a skillet, I'm going to order that 100% of the time.
Yeah, dude, 1,000%. Yes, absolutely. Like breakfast KFC status bowl.
No doubt. I'm locked into that for sure. We don't have Waffle Houses around here either. I think the closest one is like 2.5 hours down the road in the outskirts of Kansas City. So that's something
that do you guys have Cracker Barrels?
We have plenty of Cracker Barrels. We have Cracker Barrels of a lot of them in spades.
It's weird them selling alcohol now. That's strange.
There's so much going on at the Cracker Barrels. Always. All right, good. That's a good breakfast rundown. I'm glad you're experiencing some of the same things that we are. Noticing trends. That's what we're doing here on the Connor Happer Show.
You can bet on anything now.
Exactly. Trends all day long. So let's do a couple NFL items here. First, I was going through all of the Russell Wilson stuff from last night. So he's going to get cut next week. The Broncos are going to have to eat $85 million in dead cap. Apparently the the 5-year, $242 million extension that he signed when he got traded to the Broncos hasn't even kicked in yet. He hasn't played a down of that contract. That was reported yesterday out of Denver. And then there was the trade, which included 2 firsts, 2 seconds, Noah Fant, Shelby Harris, Drew Lock. This is the most lopsided deal of all time. I don't even think it's close. It can't be close for what they got out of Russell Wilson.
I mean, it was like before we knew that, like that, that first year with Russ when it was just awful. Like, which by the way, he didn't have a bad season last year. The team just wasn't that great, but Russ had
agreed.
a much better year. But that being said, that trade, I mean, even at that moment, we were like, oh my God, like what in the world is happening with this, right? I mean, Seattle just came out like bandits. Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of money dead cap, right? Like, and then, okay, look at it from like Sean Payton's perspective. Okay, number one, we're finding out that Sean Payton has as much power as he wants.
Yep.
He could do what he wants. Number two, I do feel that, like, when a coach comes in and like resets the quarterback position, it buys them time.
Definitely.
Right? Like that's kind of like the auto. If you could do that, you do it. You know what I mean? But now the question is like, all right, what do you do now? Like what's the move now? I'm fascinated with that one, man, because the Broncos, like, there are pieces. You're gonna have to do a lot of work, but there are pieces to work with. Like, this team is like, I think that they're in a better shape than the Titans are. You know what I mean? Like, I think that they're much better shape, but man, that's a lot of money.
Okay, so you mentioned it at the beginning there. I wanted to talk about it from the perspective of Russ. I think he's got some, like, he could be, if you want to label him, somebody in a very bad situation could pick up Russell Wilson on a cheap contract for next year, and he could be the Baker Mayfield of 2024 NFL. Like, Baker, nobody had any expectation. He goes to a crap team in the Bucs, and he has a pretty good season, and now people think a little bit more highly of him going into the next, stage of his career. I think Russ has at least that in him. Like, there's definitely some years left there.
Oh yeah, like, I mean, Russ had a good, decent year. Like, he didn't play terrible, man. If I were Russ, and look, it's easier for me to say this when I don't have a ton of money staring at me. You know what I mean? But like,
right,
I would go to like exactly the scenario that you just laid out, like a team that's pretty good that you can lead them to the playoffs, and don't necessarily worry about the money. Like, I think that my competitiveness, I think, okay, all right, you want to get rid of me? I'll tell you what, man, I'm going league minimum. Let's go.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah, it's fascinating, like which teams out there, would need a QB. Because you want to start, obviously. You look at the division, man, like the Atlanta Falcons, like not the best situation in the world.
Yeah.
But it's not like Tampa was great either. I'm fascinated with what he does, because if his price is low, dude, he could almost kind of call his shot here. But if his price is high, that's going to be a tough set.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the market would be for him in terms of. I mean, there's going to be teams who need quarterbacks, but I'm thinking.
I mean, the Steelers, right?
Sure,
like,
that's a great one.
Steelers.
I'm thinking like a team who, I mean, maybe even a worse spot than the Steelers. And you're like, man, let's just sign this guy, have him for a couple years. He can like be the old man mentor guy. And then all of a sudden,
you know what the move would be?
Go ahead. Yeah. Tell me.
The Indianapolis Colts.
I love that.
All right. You've got Anthony Richardson there coming off of an injury, right? Like, that's the hard part, is that you want your draft pick to play. So I'm not saying that like that's the perfect move, but like a team that can't compete in a division that stinks. Like that's kind of what you want to look at. Like, you don't want to go back to the NFC West like the Cardinals, because you're just facing death against the 49ers. I'm with you. Like, I'm fascinated at this move right here. Like, where New England,
I was just going to say the Patriots.
Yeah.
Like, what? That seems like it's a juicy one to me, honestly.
And the other part is like, there's going to be, and we don't know because we weren't there, like, in the locker room, but like, there needs to be a little humbling of Russell Wilson too.
Yeah.
Like that he's going to have to be a teammate here and not, his own office in the stadium type of guy. But it seems like it worked last year a little bit. I don't know, man. I'm fascinated.
No, I think that'll be good for him for sure. And then there's the whole image rehabilitation thing, which I think he gets, especially with the way it all went down in Denver and them trying to basically just ice him out of his money on his contract. He was trying to they were trying to put him on the injured list when he wasn't hurt and stuff like that. I think there's an opportunity for there's an opportunity there for him next year. Allan, you still with us? Your phone just glitched out like crazy.
Yeah, no, I'm here.
Okay, good. The other thing in the NFL, would you wear sleeves to your retirement press conference, a la Jason Kelsey?
That's a tough move, and especially for a lineman, right? That's the last group that
it just seems like you might respect the guy who doesn't wear sleeves to his retirement press conference.
Yeah, can't I get that? That's not a move I'm making. I'll say that one.
Just figured that would be right up your alley. As we head into, so we have the tournament coming up. We talked a little bit about some teams last week. I'm going to go ahead and dub this from a betting perspective. It's kind of like weirdo sports season. I saw you hitting up some NASCAR bets, which is awesome, and cashing in on them. We got some horse racing around the corner. There's some good event stuff coming up. This seems like a moment where if you're sharp enough, you could really find a couple edges in there.
Yeah, you're right. All right, so you look at college baseball, we're getting out of the first 3 weeks of crazy tournament, where everybody's playing ranked teams. Now you're kind of settling in, so you can really find some consistency, make some money there. Like you said, NASCAR settling in as well. May coming up, like you said, and the Derby's there. There's always a big boxing match.
Yep.
I don't know who the big boxers would be, but yeah, we are in kind of that weird spot. And then, like you said, man, the tournament and then the Masters, right there. That's always the best. That's the best 4-week transition. And then you just kind of get stuck in the desert where you're I guess I'm betting MLB.
Yep. Time to hit some no runs in the first inning bets during May and June and July.
Yeah. Hey, I'll tell you this, man. Just kind of looking, at spring training, baseball teams. I know that, we talked about the Dodgers and the Braves both have win totals over 100. And I'm not saying bet on that part, but those teams are hitting runs constantly. So I would take a look at those two, when the season starts. Yeah, they're going to be scoring some runs.
Yep. Baseball season is long enough where usually it's the best ones at the end of it. Although we do have a larger playoffs now, which throws some wrenches into some things.
And I'll say this, I know you probably got to go, but the one that scares me the most is the NBA. Teams are openly just stopping. The Warriors lost by 52 points the other night. My God, man.
It's crazy. There's no doubt it has an effect when your playoff is that big. All right, AB, appreciate it as always, my friend. We'll talk to you next week.
Hey, look forward to it, buddy. I'll be good, man. Take care.
Allan Bell of the AB3. We got to figure out what the deal with his crazy phone is. That happens, I feel once a week. We're just wow, what is going on?
That's also the sound that we hear when our wonderful, always working phone system disconnects a line.
Yeah.
So
I was scared there for a second. Baseball bets. The Nerfies have really taken off over the last couple of years. Josh, you know what a Nerfie is?
I don't.
So it's no run first inning.
Okay.
6 outs. And people will just sit in front of their TV and curse the living hell out of anybody who puts a bat on a ball. It's pretty entertaining, to be honest with you. If you want to, if you need a quick fix, go for the Nerfie or the RFI, I guess.
Yeah, Braves are pretty good in the first inning last year.
There you go. Bet against, or don't stay away from Braves games and Nerfies if you're going that direction this baseball season. But like Allan said, off into the desert a little bit this time of year. All right, we'll come back. Josh has the odd news. Don't forget Anthony Bemboom, current Detroit Tiger, former Creighton Blue Jay, former Iowa Western Reaver.
We love Reavers, we love Blue Jays, and we love the Tigers.
And we love Detroit Tigers. That is for sure. We'll make sure to ask about Tariq Skubal. Odd News is next on 1620 The Zone.
Remember, no matter how you listen, it's still AM radio. 1620 The Zone.
Coffee comes from a plant. Tea comes from a leaf. Kratom comes from a leaf. Kratom may seem new, but it is an all-natural product that has helped people for centuries alleviate discomfort, anxiety, and so much more. At 42 Degrees, we carry the largest selection, highest quality Kratom, so that you can receive all the benefits of Kratom. At 42 Degrees, we care about your health, so ask for our Kratom at any of our multiple locations. For hours and locations, go to 42degrees.com. Buy your mom's house.
Hear that? The sound of adorable little birds in your garden. And if you were here, you'd taste the 2 sweet but tiny tomatoes you grew all by yourself. But you're not here. Because your self-care happens when you're riding your motorcycle protected by Progressive on your way to the store for a pack of normal-sized tomatoes. So if you ride, switch to Progressive, America's #1 motorcycle insurer, without getting your hands dirty. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Over the past few years, the COVID-19 pandemic has affected how we live our daily lives. Today, we also face a mental health pandemic that threatens our well-being as we attempt to rebuild our social networks and communities.
The pandemic has reminded us to value family, community, and our human connections. However, it has also left many of us feeling more isolated, confused, and alone, struggling to find meaning amid loss and uncertainty.
Today, 1 in 5 Americans experience emotional and mental health challenges, but many of us do not understand what we are facing or know how to ask for help.
At the American Psychiatric Association Foundation, we understand what you are going through, and we are here to help. Our vision is to build a mentally healthy nation for all. We work every day to eliminate stigma, combat mental illness and substance use disorders, and advance mental health. If you or someone you love needs help, you are not alone. Please visit mentallyhealthynation.org to learn more.
The backseat. Check the backseat. All right, come here. Check the backseat.
Gets in your head, right? Good. Because every year, dozens of children are forgotten in the backseat of a car by a parent or caregiver. All never thought it could happen to them. But with changes in routines, distractions, or a sleeping child, it can happen to anyone. Parked cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. So get it in your head.
Check the backseat.
A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hey Omaha dog lovers, get ready for more wags and more fun. Hound HQ, your dog's favorite spot for daycare, boarding, and top-notch grooming is now open. At Hound HQ, there's plenty of space for a pup to sleep, play, and everything in between. Plus, our expert groomers are here to ensure your furry family member always looks fabulous. Join our pack on Facebook and Instagram at The Hound HQ, or visit our website, thehoundhq.com, and sign up your dog today. Hound HQ, more wags, more fun.
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Odson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odd Son. Odd news, Odd Son. See what we did there? The odd news with Oddson.
Now, speaking of minor league baseball, Josh and I were discussing a little bit during the break. We saw the exploding fastball of Paul Skeens yesterday make the rounds.
It was sexy.
That thing, and I can tell you this from seeing it up close too. So yeah, he juices up to 100, and that's pretty much where he stays consistently. But why his fastball is different is it is heavy. It's not like it has a whole lot of, this is super like
inside baseball
nerd stuff, but it's not like it has a whole lot of, downward tilt to it. Like usually when you say heavy fastball, you mean the guy's basically, throwing up a sinker, but it's just a heavy 98, and that's why you heard it yesterday when it sounded like a bomb was going off when he exploded the catcher's mitt. Where might he start his year is a conversation. Could it be Double-A? Probably on path for Double-A. this year. But if he is, if the Pirates feel so inclined, they could start him off in AAA. And the Indianapolis Indians make a visit to Warner Park at the end of April.
Do that, Pirates.
6-game series, so you're going to get at least one start from everybody in that.
Why wouldn't Livy come back to Omaha?
Maybe that's something to look. Yeah, maybe Livy would join the Paul Skeens train. That'd be fun.
The presidency, you could have Livy Dunn night, whether she's okay with it or not.
You're going to have to do something about that.
Just spell it differently.
Because I don't think you want her sitting out in, section 114. You're going to have to.
Sitting on the berm.
I don't think so. All right. Josh, odd news before we get to Anthony Bemboom.
Speaking of bombs going off, Anthony Edwards did not start against the Trailblazers last night. Because he was late for tip-off. But he insisted his tardiness had nothing to do with any sort of trip to the bathroom. As Minnesota was preparing to take on Portland at the Target Center, Edwards was nowhere to be found, forcing the Timberwolves to start Nickeil Alexander-Walker instead. Nickeil? I was close enough.
You were.
But thank you for correcting me. I do actually appreciate it. Edwards eventually made his way to the floor as action got underway, but he had to wait at the scorer's table and checked in at the 11:25 mark of the first quarter.
Where was he?
Even the broadcasters said must have been a long line at the bathroom. But Edwards in the postgame said he merely lost track of time, which doesn't seem like a better excuse.
So you're saying he was at the arena and all ready to go, went through warmups and everything, and then just missed when everybody ran out onto the floor?
Yeah, that's the way he tells it. Everyone else is saying, oh, you were clearly going to the bathroom.
Okay, there's no chance that he just missed when everybody left.
Yeah, like, oh.
We're all together in the locker room. Everybody else left, and I didn't notice.
There's only like 12 of you.
You must have really been locked into the TikToks.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Wow. Yeah, there's something in there. We got to figure that one out.
Mm-hmm. I need a Wolves beat reporter to tell me if he was pooping or not.
Once again, Nick Grimm would love the NBA.
He would. He just refuses to partake.
Yeah, he won't do it, but we keep telling him.
It's a human drama. We go to Pittsburgh for story number 2, where Balls Out Bowling is back and promises to be the ultimate bowling experience.
I don't know if it does, Josh.
The Pittsburgh area naturalists are hosting another Balls Out Bowling event where, yes, you can bowl in the nude. It's going to take place at the end of April. The event is for anyone over 18, regardless of bowling skill.
Poll question, is the bowling alley the worst place to be naked?
Yeah. You type that up. I'll finish reading the story.
And nothing against any of our local bowling alleys, which many of which I've frequented in the past, but there may not be a dirtier place.
But there's also a lot of heavy swinging bowling balls that could hit you.
Yeah.
And I don't want
same
that.
thing if you have clothes on too.
Mm-hmm. Nudity is required. Women are allowed to wear bottoms. They said that sexual activity is not permitted in the bowling alley. That's a good note to have.
That's good. No
photography or video is allowed. No tickets will be sold at the door. You have to buy them in advance.
Also probably good.
Yes. And finally, we were just talking about minor league baseball, Connor. Have you heard the latest promotion for minor league baseball?
Oh, what do we got?
All levels, all teams will partake in this event and sometime in June. And Connor, it might trigger you. Every minor league baseball team will become an Oatly team.
Dude, Oatly
at one point.
Oatly really came in hot last year.
Oh, they're coming in hotter this year.
So they came in with their so they didn't just have advertisements, they had like advertisements that you had to like read in a very specific way.
Oh.
During the announcements as they were going through sort of the pregame deal. There's a very awkward kind of cadence to it. And so they made their presence felt at minor league baseball games last year. And so they're taking it up a level.
They are taking it up a level. Every team will wear an Oatly jersey. And do not get confused. It is not a patch that says Oatly on the shoulder somewhere. It is an Oatly jersey.
Yeah.
And your whatever your team name may be is secondary.
So do we know like how many characters do they have?
I don't know. They apparently, this is the way the story was told to Uniwatch.
I gotta let me text President C.
That
Which Oatly will you be?
Oatly saw all the food related mascots that minor league, for one special night, every minor league baseball team turned into. Omaha became the Runzas, and Oatly saw this and said, well, we're a food. Every minor league baseball team should want to become the Oatleys for a game. All 120 minor league baseball teams this season will wear an Oatly themed uniform for one game this season. It is the first year of a multi-year partnership. It will not be an ad patch. It will be an Oatly themed uniform, same design for every team that they will wear at some point over the summer. Sometime in June is when Uniwatch believes this will happen. Teams wearing this uniform will be known for one day as the Malmö Oat Milkers. Malmö is the Swedish city where Oatly is headquartered. When is Oat Milkers Day at Werner Park?
So here's what I got back.
Teams will not get any revenue from this deal, so it's a win-win for both sides.
Every team, this is just what I got back from the Omaha side.
We thank you.
Every team will be the Malmö Oat Milkers, like you just said, and they will all have this. This will apparently for the Omaha Storm Chasers be in August.
Oh, okay.
Not June for them. So they're rolling it out around the league. This will be in August on a Tuesday. For the Storm Chasers. There you go.
Wild times.
Yep. Good stuff. Good stuff. Shout out to Oatly.
Well, I mean,
if you love minor league baseball, you're going to hear about some Oatly.
Nick loved the what are they? The Udder Tuggers or the Dairy Daddies?
Yeah.
Now the Oat Milkers. Udder Tuggers is a team name. Okay, I'm not being crass.
Yeah, no, that could be a team name. That's for sure.
It is a team name.
Is it really?
Yes.
Who?
I'll find it. Wisconsin Udder Tuggers. They're Timber Rattlers offshoot.
Of course, it's Wisconsin.
Of course. Odd news. It's always Wisconsin.
Josh, thank you.
Thank you, Connor.
That is indeed the odd news. We'll keep you updated on any other minor league baseball promotions that we catch wind of.
Yeah.
All season long. Coming up next, speaking of minor league baseball, Anthony Bemboom has seen a lot of it. I wonder what the most ridiculous offshoot jersey Anthony Bemboom has worn. Let's ask him.
Good cue.
Because he's been around that game for a long time. Former Jay, former Reaver, joins us on the other side from Detroit Tigers camp on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Hi, friends. Kent Pavelka courtside getting ready for this year's matchup between the Average Roofing Companies and the Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard. The Average Roofers are just that, average at best, not very impressive. The Rooferees, above and beyond the opponent, more dependable, service that exceeds the norm, good sportsmanship, fairness, and integrity. You know them, you love them, and they're ready to win for you. Make the right call with John Higgins Weather Guard. It's tip-off time with the Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Make the right call.
Where to watch college basketball just got easier. 72 Table and Tap is offering $2 Coors drafts with a purchase of a Coors Cup. Paired with one of the biggest TVs in Ralston is a slam dunk. 72 Table and Tap is just south of Ralston Arena, so stop in before the concert or come watch the tournament. Indulge in some smoked wings, a goldfish breaded pork tenderloin, tasty bar food, pizzas, and sandwiches. There's a reason customers keep coming back. 72 Table and Tap. Eat, drink, gather, and repeat.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. In the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. The ugly truth is when you buy a timeshare, you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. I recently helped a couple that had their maintenance fees go from $800 to $3,200 a year. They also received a $4,000 assessment for a hurricane that was over 1,000 miles away. Sound crazy? The crazy thing is this never ends. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. Call 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. 800-462-3333.
Maverick baseball and softball home openers are here. Maverick softball opens Thursday with Valparaiso at Clausen Field, and baseball opens with Portland on Wednesday at Tal Anderson Field. Get your season tickets or single game tickets by calling 402-554-MAVS or going to omavs.com/tics. Also, this weekend is the hockey series finale as Maverick hockey takes on third-ranked North Dakota. Get your hockey tickets by calling the box office at 402-554-MAVS or by going to omavs.com/tics.
Email unsportsmanlike conduct on the Equitable Bank Zone Inbox with whatever is on your mind, from your hot takes to what you think is one. The Zone Inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. We want to hear from you on the Equitable Bank Zone Inbox.
Creighton Sports Update. Spring sports are here. Creighton baseball is back home tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. versus UMass Lowell at Charles Schwab Field, Omaha. The men's basketball team wraps up their regular season this Saturday as they head to Villanova with a 1:30 tip-off this Saturday. For information, to purchase tickets, or follow along all things Creighton, visit gocreighton.com. And that's your Creighton Sports Update.
1620 The Zone proudly supports Creighton Athletics.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no service fees. Shop tickets for less.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
Creighton Blue Jay baseball on your radio tonight, 1180 The Zone. The Jays and UMass Lowell, the first team to play locally out of our three local baseball teams. We've been talking to representatives from those teams, former players from those teams, from the Huskers, the Mavs, and now the Jays. Former Blue Jay Anthony Bemboom joins the show now, live from Detroit Tigers camp down in Florida. Anthony, thanks for doing this, man. What's up?
Hey, thanks for having me.
Of course. All right, so you have double former local ties, former Jay and former Reaver. It's been a it's been a journey, man. I don't want you to, I guess I wouldn't ask you to take us through the entire thing, but like, you know, it's been a ride for the last 10, 12, 15 years of trying to get to this point in your career. Like, I guess what's it been like over that period of time?
Yeah, it's been great. Like you said, it's been a long journey for sure, but just starting my college career at Iowa Western, 2 years in Council Bluffs, really kind of grew up as a baseball player. And was fortunate enough to get an opportunity to play at Creighton, and I had 2 awesome years there. We had a lot of success as a team, and then was fortunate to get drafted by the Angels in 2012, and then been through 6 different organizations here, and just signed free agent with the Detroit Tigers, and just kind of in the middle of spring training right now, and going well, staying healthy. So yeah, it's been a long journey, but I think biggest thing for me was just always trying to get to that next step, that next level, and just, you know, stay focused on short-term goals. And that's kind of got me to where I'm at now.
So you just turned 34. What, at what point are you making a conscious, like, is there a fork in the road of like, man, I really like, one hand, I really love playing baseball. I want to play baseball as long as I possibly can. But other people, you know, at earlier points in their career, Anthony, have already experienced that fork and have been like, you know what, like, am I really in this for the long haul? And maybe that happens around age 30 or something like that. Like, did that happen to you at any point, or are you still like, nope, I am on this direct track of like, I'm going to keep playing baseball as long as I can?
Yeah, there's definitely some points early in my career in the minor leagues, some tough times where you question is this worth it? Like you said, and I think the biggest thing for me was having a good support system behind me.
Yeah.
Your family and my wife Amy. It was a great support system, and just kind of encouraged me to stick it out, and it ended up working out, and able to make my major league debut in 2019 with the Tampa Bay Rays, and just parts of the past 5 years since then been up and down between AAA and the big leagues. But as far as right now, I have a 2.5-year-old boy, so
Awesome.
It makes it a little tougher to be away from home.
Yeah.
But also, I think right now we're just kind of taking it year by year and seeing how it goes. So I think playing in the AL Central is going to help a little bit, being a little closer to home. We live in Lincoln now, so be able to make travel a little bit easier.
So cool, man. Let's flash back to that debut. I got to hear the story about the call, because at this point you're 7 years into your minor league career, and you've played everywhere under the sun that there is to play baseball on planet Earth, or at least in America. You get the call, you go and play with the Rays, you're in the lineup. Like, take me through that whole. Everybody always talks about how fast it is, right? It's just like quick turnaround. You go and you're there, and all of a sudden you're playing ball. Like, what was it like for you?
Yeah, it was obviously really special. Going my entire minor league contract and not making the big leagues was tough, but also had an opportunity to sign as a minor league free agent with Tampa, and that was a big reason that I went there, was because they had a track record of giving guys opportunities, and interest was there. So on their end and my end, so I was happy to be a part of the organization, and got that call. I think we were in Lehigh Valley in Pennsylvania, and then met the team down in Tampa against the Yankees, and actually made my debut on Mother's Day. And I was catching Blake Snell, who was coming off Cy Young, against the Yankees in Tampa. I can't really ask for much better than that. And it was obviously everything you would expect out of a major league debut. It was really fun.
Oh, that's ridiculous. you're like, yeah. Okay. So they tell you, like, you're in the lineup, you're going to catch against the New York Yankees today, and Blake Snell's pitching to you.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. And it was kind of funny. My flight got delayed down. So the first game I didn't play, but I showed up basically right at game time, because my flight got delayed getting into Tampa, and hit traffic going in, of course.
Classic.
Being in the Tampa area. Yeah. so yeah, I show up right at game time, and they're like, all right, put your uniform on and head out there. So that was my introduction to the big league.
Funny enough, man, we were talking about weird minor league baseball promotions. And hilariously, just coincidentally, you're our next guest. You're the next thing that we do on the show. You would have a great first person perspective on this. What's the weirdest minor league jersey you, or like, theme night, whatever it might be, that you've been a part of over the last decade plus now?
Oh man, there's been a lot of them. I think probably the one that sticks out in my mind is in Albuquerque. I think in 2017 we ran a promotional night where we were the green chili cheeseburgers, and we had green and black jerseys with the cheese, because in New Mexico, green chilies are right. Very popular. They put them on pretty much everything. So, but yeah, that was the promotional night that we had a few times that season. So, yeah, and we got to eat green chili cheeseburgers after the game.
I was gonna say, did they feed you the burgers afterwards? Because I've heard a lot about the Hatch chili stuff. Like, it's pretty good, apparently.
Honestly, yeah. Being in Albuquerque, like, I grew to like the green chili on especially cheeseburgers, and pizza is pretty good too.
They put it on everything, right?
Everything. You go to a restaurant and they ask you, like, do you want green chili on that? And you're like, I never even thought that was an option.
It's like, sure, why not? I'm in Albuquerque, let's do it, man. Okay, so that's another part of it too. You've got to see it from every single corner of the United States. Like, give me a place where you're like, wow, you one day looked up and you looked around, and it's like, man, I'm playing baseball. This is something that I know and I'm familiar with, but I'm also playing somewhere where I never thought I would be. Like, you've had stints in like, the winter leagues, the Venezuela, like winter, all that stuff. Like, Give me one of those cities where you're like, whoa, this is a totally different deal than I ever thought I'd be getting into.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, like you said, it's kind of been all over the place. But I think playing winter ball down in the Dominican is a definite culture shock for someone who's never been, someone from the Midwest that's never, been to the Caribbean and been Latin America, and you get to see firsthand, especially what these Latin players and Dominican players go through to get over here and get to the big leagues. And you just kind of grow to appreciate, it's a level of appreciation of what they have to go through. And you see that, but the passion for baseball is second to none in the Dominican Republic. And I'm really glad I did that. Cause it's just a great experience to go down there and experience that culture.
So let's start back at the beginning here with your college career. How did you end up at Iowa Western? And obviously it's a fantastic program, and you guys, won a whole lot when you were there. Like, how did you end up there, and how did you end up being one of the JUCO guys? We've heard a lot of success stories over the years, and you're another example of it.
Yeah, when I was in high school, I really wanted to play Division I. I knew I was good enough, and I just didn't have any scholarship opportunities. I think I got offered to walk on at the University of Minnesota, but I never, had that scholarship opportunity. So I think I was at a showcase in the Twin Cities area and got a call from the Iowa Western coaches and wanted me to go down there and work out with them, and just kind of fell in love with it. Didn't really have an idea of what junior college baseball was like until I got there and experienced it. But like I said, I grew up there. Those 2 years there were huge for shaping me as a person and a baseball player. And, it was awesome. And I'm really glad I made the decision to go to junior college, and cause you just play, I think for baseball, that's the biggest thing is just guys go play. Sometimes guys get hindered going to, bigger schools, and then they don't get an opportunity to play. It's hard to grow that way, and get better. So I think that was the biggest thing for me, to just go play.
And you end up being the JUCO World Series all tournament team. Also in that tournament, Bryce Harper, I believe he was ejected from.
He was, Connor. That's right. That bum was ejected, and Iowa Western won it all.
But you were the first team catcher on that team over a guy named Bryce Harper.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. It was a really fun time. I think he played a little outfield too, so I don't know if they're classifying him as catcher outfield. I don't know, but either way, it was a really fun time, and I think we were the first Northern District team to win the JUCO World Series, if I'm not mistaken. So that was a really cool accomplishment, and some of my best friends still to this day were on that team. So it was a lot of fun memories.
Yeah, and you guys set the tone for a really successful program that's still going on strong to this day. And then your time at Creighton, like what led you to Creighton? Obviously, close proximity to where you were at Iowa Western. How'd you end up there? And then your 2 years with the Jays?
Yeah, I always had a good understanding of the kind of the tradition at Creighton. When I was younger, I always watched the Creighton, Nebraska games on TV because we would get that back home. And knowing that Omaha is kind of the home of college, the heart of college baseball, with the CWS going on and everything like that. And I thought that was really cool and something that, kind of drew me to the interest there. And then obviously when I was at Iowa Western, just talking with Coach Service and the assistant coaches there, and, they had a lot of interest, and it was pretty mutual, and, it worked out really well.
No doubt about it. So 2011, that would have been the first year of the new ballpark, right?
Yeah, TD Ameritrade. Yeah, the first year it was open. So I remember the first game we played against Nebraska. It was pretty close to sold out, if not sold out. But it was. I remember it was really cold. It was probably about 32 degrees, but it was one of the cooler experiences that I've had.
I remember the grass was like super green, even because the field was brand new, but it was so cold, and the grass was green, and it just felt like it was a night game. I think I remember, right, and it's just like Yeah, okay. This is a brand new field. We're really christening this thing tonight. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. I remember the grass was really green, but I remember the surface itself was super soft because the sod was like brand new.
Right.
So it was super dead. Like the infield was really slow, and obviously that was the first year with the BB Core bat, so the ball did not fly at all. So offense was at a premium.
No doubt about it. Anthony Bemboom. Speaking of, so you're with the Tigers now. Like, give me a sense of the optimism and sort of the vibe in your guys' locker room right now, where like the division's up for grabs, and you got a young core, some awesome pitchers. Like you get to catch some real dudes on a daily basis. Like, what's it like being in the Tigers clubhouse right now?
Yeah, it's exciting. Like you said, there's a lot of talent here, and that expectation is starting to shift to the expectation of winning. We're expecting to be in playoff baseball this year, and it's really exciting when you're around that. I kind of went through that shift when I was with Baltimore the past 2 years. The expectation was to win, and last year ended up, being a part of a team that was able to win 101 games and play in the playoffs. And that's kind of what the expectation is going to be here going forward, because there's just too much talent to not have that. So, like you said, there's a ton of really good arms, a lot of young, really talented position players. And I think they all are hungry, to compete in the Central.
We're all seeing the Tariq Skubal Cy Young buzz right now too. I bet it's fun.
Yeah.
I bet it's fun to be around that because he's been like a guy for a couple years, and now at the end of last year, it kind of exploded for him. Like I imagine he's a fun guy to be around right now.
Yeah, I mean, he's a real deal. He's a definite ace, and he's a guy that wants the ball every 5 days, wants to stay out there as long as possible and give his team the best chance to win. And that's what you expect out of a guy like that, your top end starter, who's just going to, go out there and go as hard as he can for as long as he can every 5 days and give you the best chance to win. And he's that prototypical guy. So I think everybody's comfortable with him taking the ball game one.
Anthony, thanks for doing this, man. We really appreciate it. You're free to come on, talk ball whenever you want to talk about Creighton or whatever else is going on in the AL Central. Appreciate it. Talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
That's Anthony Bemboom, former Reaver, Blue Jay, and now catcher of Tariq Skubal.
Only Northern District team to ever win the JUCO
World
Series.
Yeah. Look at your jacket, Josh.
What?
Nice. We got we got them both covered.
We're repping Anthony Bemboom.
I guess we are. We're the Anthony Bemboom boys. That was good.
That's a fun name.
That was fun, man.
Yeah.
Because what a and you have to have a good attitude about it too, right?
He didn't sound bitter.
Like he's 34 years old,
and
he's been basically a career minor leaguer. He's had cracks at the big leagues, and so you have to have a good attitude about it. And he's seen baseball from every single angle in America, which is, I mean, you could either resent that he's been in AAA or the majors basically for the last 4 or 5 years now. So it's really just that side of it. But in order to stick in it that long, you got to really want to do it. And he's done it.
Did it behind Adley Rutschman last year.
82 career major league games appeared in. Anthony Bemboom is the owner of 31 major league hits.
That's enough.
That's if you're not going to be a superstar, that's really cool.
I got there. I did it.
Yes. And I stayed around and look at all the people that he's played with. He's been in a couple great organizations, like with young cores and stuff like that. Like, that's pretty cool. That's a sweet career.
Probably going to go somewhere here in the area and be a really great teacher of the game to young people.
No doubt. That's pretty cool. Thanks to Anthony Bemboom for joining us. Nice job, Josh. Getting some AL Central, getting some Tigers in there. I had to get my Tariq Skubal question in. You guys are going to be an informed listening audience, because there's no other sports radio show outside of Detroit in America that has talked this much about Tariq Skubal. None. There's just not. I'm telling you.
I'm not even going to put it up for a poll question because I know it to be true.
There's just not.
Even whatever city the Detroit Tigers are playing spring training, they're not talking about Tariq Skubal as much as we are.
Not even close. So we got you covered.
Your Tariq Skubal station.
That's right. 1620 The Zone. Hey, we'll be back. Jacob Bigelow will join us at the top of the hour. We'll talk some Nebraska basketball with him. I still want to get a bracket check in, but coming up next, we will tell you how the NCAA president is trying to trick you. He's trying to guilt trip you into a bigger NCAA tournament.
He thinks you're stupid.
He thinks you're stupid. And we're going to call him out for it next on 1620 The Zone.
Previously on The Crossover.
All right, let's see. So Danville Dairy Daddies. Look at that. Look at that horny cow. Look at the eyes on this bad boy.
Is the cow giving the eyes?
There's something weird about that. No, I can't say.
He is a bull. This is a dairy daddy. Oh, his name is McCreamy. Got it. Perfect.
Mornings with Sharp and Hanley. The Connor Happer Show. Unsportsmanlike conduct. 6A to 6P. 1620. The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
A quiet Tuesday ahead. Expect sunshine in the morning with more cloud cover moving in by the middle of the day. Expect clouds to hang around into the afternoon with light winds. Highs in the mid to upper 50s. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV News Watch 7.
Blowout sale at Leach Camper Sales in Council Bluffs. And don't forget, coffee's always on.
Are you a delivery driver looking for a better job opportunity? Host Coffee is a local family-owned coffee, water, and vending company that has been in business since 1972. We are growing, and we now have openings for delivery drivers and other positions starting at $22 an hour with full benefits. If you're interested, visit hostcoffee.net/careers to connect with us.
Host Coffee is always roasting something good for you.
At Cox Mobile, we know you're smart. You brush your teeth in the shower to save time, make coffee ice cubes for your cold brew, and wear goggles to cut onions. You also added Cox Mobile. So smart. Now you're running on the network with unbeatable 5G reliability and saving on your Cox internet. It's ingenious, just like you.
Aw, thanks.
Cox Mobile, the smart way to mobile. Cox postpaid internet required. Cox Mobile runs on the network with unbeatable 5G reliability as measured by Ookla LLC in the U.S. through H 2023. Other restrictions apply. Learn more at cox.com/mobile.
J-Tech Construction, the official exterior experts of the Huskers, offers exterior solutions that help you protect your number one investment. Whether it's roofing and siding or windows and doors, they're committed to excellence, quality, and outstanding customer service in every step of the process. When it's time to protect the exterior of your home, your choice is simple. Turn to who the Huskers turn to, J-Tech Construction. Check them out online and schedule a free estimate today. J-Tech Construction, the official exterior experts of the Huskers.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be a sign that your digestive system isn't working at its best? Taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil fiber powders help promote your daily digestive health using a plant-based fiber called psyllium. The gelling action of this special fiber traps and removes waste, so you can feel lighter and more energetic. Metamucil, promoting digestive health for a better you. Learn more at metamucil.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
College basketball's biggest tournament is coming, and it's time to start betting like a pro with the world's largest sports book right at your fingertips. Circa Sports Iowa. It's sports betting the way it should be. High betting limits, tight money line splits, exceptional customer service, and more. Fund and bet like a pro anywhere, anytime. It's never been easier. Download your new bookie before all of the March action at circasports.com. If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-238-7633.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different. At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
All right, Josh, tell me about a bracket you just saw.
Oh, I saw one from Mike DeCourcy. He has Nebraska as a 10 seed in the West, facing St. Mary's in the first round.
And that game would be located in what?
It does not say,
Okay.
but I would safe to assume that might be an Omaha games. A lot of people have projected St. Mary's to be a team that's
Is Omaha part of the West? I don't even know.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. And then
Maybe they're probably there.
in the Midwest bracket, Creighton would be a 4 seed taking on the Fighting Corderos of Louisiana Tech.
Yeah.
And then in the second round would play the winner of the 5-12 matchup, McNeese State versus San Diego State.
That's part of the tournament that should be outlawed. You should not be able to play the same team 3 times in three NCAA tournaments in a row. There should be no chance of that.
Oh, you sick of them, Connor?
I am.
You sick?
I don't want to play them again.
Oh, because you know you're going to lose. You know they're going to hold the ball.
No.
40 minutes of hell.
Creighton won the first time. Creighton won in the first round a couple years ago. Just so happens that San Diego State won in the Elite 8 last year on a bunk call that nobody calls late in the game. Anyway,
that guy did.
No, it was a foul. It was a foul. Greg McDermott finally watched it for the first time.
Oh, really?
Over it was late summer or something like that. He's like, fine, I'll do it.
Okay.
I guess I'll do it. Imagine watching that game as a coach and like all the. On one hand, Creighton probably should have lost earlier than they did because remember they got the steal off the inbound on the side that Baylor got the layup on that like totally should have happened. They just passed it to the wrong guy. And then a lot of other chances to kind of put it away down the stretch. Just couldn't get enough. Couldn't get there. But that was last year. This is this year. That's why I hope that last year stays last year. No more San Diego State. I'm done with them.
Would you like to hear Andy Katz's bracket?
Yeah. What's going on, Andy?
Okay.
Does he have Nebraska as a 2 today or a 3?
He has Nebraska as a 9. The utter disrespect from Andy
Interesting.
Katz. He has him playing Texas in the first round.
Okay.
Winner gets Tennessee.
Here we go.
And then for Creighton, they are where'd they go? Where are you at, Creighton? Where are you at? They're 3 seed taking on High Point in the first round.
Oh, okay. Narrative boy, Andy Katz.
They would get
Jeez.
They would get Washington State or Princeton in the second round.
Oh, see, you can't play the same team twice in a row at the NCAA. It broke 2 rules there. No coach against another coach in a coaching tree, and no playing the same team 2 NCAA tournaments in a row. If there were all those rules, it would be impossible. There would be no tournament.
Couldn't do this.
You'd have to do what Charlie Baker is suggesting, which is make it 190 teams. No, here's what he's telling you. This is from Dana O'Neill of The Athletic.
Hi, Dan.
Dana,
sorry.
With less than 2 weeks to go before Selection Sunday and the release of men's NCAA tournament bracket, college basketball insiders are prepping for an expanded field in the very near future. That's exactly what it looks like and what needs to be carved out in various committee meetings. But there is less likelihood that the tournament will swell much beyond the current 68 teams. Quote, we're not talking about 96, a college administrator who was briefed on the conversations, but who has not been authorized to speak publicly said. There is little to no appetite for 96 teams, or really even 80. While last-minute pivots are never out of the question, especially when some of the people included in the conversations are already working on expanding the college football playoff bracket before it's even played, a 72 or 76 team field seems like the most likely outcome. Guys, once again, you can't trick us into thinking that it's better than 96, so we have to take the wins and take the 72. No, we don't have to do any of this.
68 to 72. That would be 4 more teams, right?
Yep, or 76 would be,
so
8 more.
2 more playing
We
games.
don't need this. We also don't have to do this. The story continues.
Agree.
It no doubt will be a bitter pill to swallow for traditionalists, but it may be the only realistic way to keep the tournament alive.
What?
Project Division I, NCAA President Charlie Baker's new charge to reconsider the very framework of college athletics includes several radical proposals, including the creation of a new FBS subdivision. College basketball administrators fear that if the tournament is left untouched, it will inspire power conference schools to at least consider their own postseason. Fox is already creating a counter to the NIT. Quote, the NCAA has to be proactive, the source said. Expansion, modest expansion, may be the only way to keep the tournament we all know and love alive.
Yep, it's on its last leg.
BS! This is BS!
This is $1 billion a year, this tournament.
This is the largest load of crap I've ever been fed. And I've been fed loads of crap before, Josh. We have to expand the tournament so it lives.
Poll question, have you been fed loads of crap before?
Everyone should vote yes to this. Everybody's been fed. You're being fed a load of crap right now. This is a big one from the NCAA sources who cannot speak. But I mean, this is a directive from the president of the NCAA. We're going to expand this, and we're going to tell people that because of the SEC and the Big Ten, and they're taking over, they're threatening to leave.
They might just leave.
They might leave. They want the playoff to be bigger, and they want more inclusion into our tournaments. When the Big Ten and the SEC discuss leveraging their position to make the college football playoff bigger, I can guarantee you that there is no conversation about the NCAA tournament in that. Nobody wants this.
No.
Not even the people who are ruining the sport. Not even the people who are dumb enough to ruin the sport want this. Nobody wants this at all. Everybody, unanimously, across college athletics, fans, players, administrators, leaders of the NCAA all say this is a thing that we have and does not need to be touched. It's good the way it is. Could we get more money off it? Of course, but we're fine. Everybody says that. And so the NCAA is trying to now make you think that because the SEC and the Big Ten are coming for their greed as it pertains to the college football playoff, they're also going to hold the NCAA tournament hostage. They're not. I don't buy it. I just don't buy it. Unless I'm, just severely underestimating the greed, which, who knows? I probably am.
You could probably ask those teams that missed the tournament this year, hey, should we make this thing bigger? No, we had our chances.
The story goes on from Dana O'Neill. A field of 72 or 76 is not merely a compromise, but a practical solution. A 96-team field would make it virtually impossible to avoid reconstructing the entire postseason calendar, especially now as 18-team conferences contend with managing their own league tournaments. There are also financial implications to consider, from the nitty-gritty of adding more charter flights for teams and paying more per diem to the broader scale of offsetting the additional costs with the potential added revenue stream. But adding 4 or 8 more teams is not just as simple as drawing in a few more lines. Just where those teams will be inserted has to be considered. Does the first 4 become the first 8? And if so, what seeds fall into that category? Here's the real sticking point. who gets the extra bids? I wonder who gets the extra bids, Josh.
Interesting.
You can't keep UCLA just because they're in the Big Ten, the source said, but they have to be deserving too. The other big question, not surprisingly, is money.
Money? Really?
Namely, how expansion impacts revenue distribution via NCAA tournament units. Adding more teams means more schools get a cut of the CBS Turner TV money. If, however, more money isn't added to the pot, more teams divided by the same dollars equals less money per school. Some, fearing an Armageddon scenario, worry that will lead power conference commissioners to push for a restructuring of the automatic bid process, which is, of course, the very lifeblood of the everyman tournament. Such a dramatic change would at least require a full membership vote. Thank you for reading the story. My name is Shill for the NCAA. Oh, that's sorry, that's not what it said. Man, once again, this is what you're going to start hearing now. Hey, how about a compromise? If you won't do the thing if you're telling me that 96 or 155 won't work, then can we settle for 8? Just 8? Just a little 8 more? That's all? You do not have to accept these terms. Vote no. You don't get a vote in this situation, unfortunately, because the powers that be are way too greedy and they'll never let you have an opinion on this conversation. This is all just people talking about each other, and we don't matter in these conversations. But reinforce the point. Nobody wants this. And not only does nobody want 96 or 100 or whatever, or 86 or whatever the floated number is out there, it doesn't make it better that you're trying to go from 68 to 72. It was already bad enough when you went from 64 to 68. Nobody wants the 68. Josh, who cares about the first 4? Nobody.
No, I often forget it's on.
Nobody cares about the first 4 because the way we care about the tournament is with our little bracket pages. And guess what? We don't have to pick on our little bracket pages, the first 4, unless you have one of the first 4 going to the national championship or something, which coincidentally, first 4 go to the final 4 actually quite often, which has happened. So, but nobody cares about it that way. It's already bad enough that you went from 64 to 68, and we're just trying to creep in 68 to 72. We don't have to agree with this.
You're creeping. We know what you're doing.
We don't have to like this. You're creeping. That's what you're doing. Text from 402.
At 402.
72 makes the most sense because each bracket would get one of the play-in games. Yeah, no. But don't text from the 402. Don't do this. Don't try and excuse it away. No, it makes sense. You can make it work with numbers.
Not that much more.
No. It has to stop somewhere, Josh. Otherwise, and we'll talk about this maybe coming up here with the college football playoff and the Big Ten and them, always wanting more. Where does it stop? Where does it stop? Once again, we have no authority here, but we have the power of our voices. No more NCAA tournament teams. The teams are already bad enough.
So much mediocrity.
Josh, look at all these teams on the bubble right now. Let's go to the bracket matrix.
Okay.
Let's head over to the bracket matrix and let's look at our bubbly teams. All right. So the 10s and the 11s. Nebraska, Michigan State, Florida Atlantic, Virginia, Villanova, New Mexico, Seton Hall, St. John's, Indiana State, Richmond. Other potential at-larges: Wake Forest, Colorado, Utah, Providence, Iowa, Drake, Pittsburgh, Mississippi, Memphis, Syracuse. Who out of that group has the chance to win a national championship?
They're all so worthy.
Nobody. Not a single one of them. Nobody's going to win the national championship out of that group. Might we get a couple more fun upsets from teams? Because, yeah, of course. But we can also get that from AQs. We could also get that from your Summit League champion, whoever that might be this year. Maybe it's the Mavs, or your Big West champion. Should it be UC Irvine? Or your WAC champion? Should it be Grand Canyon? People like Grand Canyon, by the way, this year.
Yeah, they do.
Princeton from the Ivy League, right? We already have all this stuff. So what is it about? Is it about inclusion in the tournament? Or so are you lying to us? Or are you just going to tell us the truth and that you just, are trying to find a way to get more money out of this? You're leveraging plays against everybody else, like whatever. Make whatever excuse you want. But you have to at least admit nobody wants to do this outside of the people who say it might be a good idea due to more money. But if it doesn't make more money sense, which in this story that I just read to you, it doesn't seem like it would, then what are we doing?
The tournament's on its last legs, Connor.
The tournament is going to die.
It's going to die.
The tournament will die without your support. We need 79 teams.
Remember when St. Peter's went to the Elite Eight?
Dumb.
How fun that was.
So dumb. So dumb. But we cannot stop the dumb in college football, as evidenced by the discussions about a brand new 14-team college football playoff. An interesting thought was sort of brought up last night on Twitter that I saw going around. I hadn't thought about it this way before. But what happens to the college football playoff when the AQs, the automatic first-round buys, go to the Big Ten and the SEC? The leverage of the sport is completely thrown off. What are some of the unforeseen consequences of that? Let's discuss a couple next on 1620 The Zone.
The Connor Happer Show. Follow us on Twitter @Happer Show for all the latest news and views. We may even say something interesting once in a while.
Unlikely.
Really, guys? The best way to catch all the action is on 1620 The Zone. And no line for the bathroom.
Sure, you could go elsewhere for your health and wellness products, or better yet, why not just come to 42 Degrees? Those other places don't even come close to the wide variety and premium disposable e-juice, CBD, Delta, Kratom, glass pipes, vaporizers, and other great products. With the friendliest, most knowledgeable, and professional staff who will find the right products just for you. If you're looking for a one-stop shopping experience, look no further. 42 Degrees. By your mom's house.
Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now I'm hitting the road with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy.
Nothing is everything.
With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Hi, I'm Kamiko, the founder of Miko's Hot Chicken. When we started our family restaurant, we were also raising a family. But let me tell you, it wasn't easy. Our Chase Ink card was there to reward us on all of our business needs. Now we have a thriving location, and we're hungry for more.
With the Chase Ink Business Unlimited card, you can earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for business. Make more with yours. Real business owners compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC, subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Many people go back to the dealership out of habit or because they think the dealer is the only one who knows how to fix their car. At Omaha Car Care, we offer a better option. We have ASE certified technicians, the technology to service any vehicle, and free loaner cars. The dealer will sell you a package of services. We'll provide the service you want for your car as your trusted partner. I'm Rick Betker, owner of Omaha Car Care, and we'll be along for the ride.
When I heard the words, "you have breast cancer," I said, I have no idea what I'm going to do. My OBGYN called me and said, I know exactly what we're going to do, which led me to Nebraska Cancer Specialists. From day one, I felt that I was at the right place. There were some pretty rough times, but together we are stronger and they are there for you. You do not feel that you are alone.
NebraskaCancer.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
If you're having problems in the bedroom, talking about it is the last thing you want to do. Same goes for hair loss, anxiety, or even depression. That's where HIMS comes in. Through HIMS, you don't have to talk about it. You can do something about it. Just go to hims.com/start, where you can find a variety of potential solutions for the problems men face every day and save up to 95% on generic alternatives. The entire process is 100% online, making it incredibly simple, straightforward, and above all, private. If prescribed, treatments made using clinically proven ingredients are shipped directly to your door in low-key packaging. So if you're experiencing ED, hair loss, anxiety, or problems with your general health, you don't have to go to the doctor, the pharmacy, or spend all day talking about it. Just go to hims.com/start and do something about it. Get started today at hims.com/start. That's HIMS.com/START.
Remember that day a couple weeks ago, Josh, when everybody was like, oh, this is a big day for college athletics because the Dartmouth basketball players are trying to unionize.
I did hear this.
So they did vote today, 13-2 to unionize. A landmark moment for college athlete rights. Their employers, I guess, as they view it in the union jargon, Dartmouth has released a statement. Here's what the statement says upon players unionizing.
Okay.
For decades, Dartmouth has been proud to build productive relationships with the 5 unions that are currently part of our campus community. We always negotiate in good faith and have deep respect for our 1,500 union colleagues, including the members of the SEIU Local 560. In this isolated circumstance, however, the students on the men's basketball team are not in any way employed by Dartmouth. For Ivy League students who are varsity athletes, academics are part of the are of primary importance, and athletic pursuit is part of the educational experience. Classifying these students as employees simply because they play basketball is as unprecedented as it is inaccurate. We, therefore, do not believe unionization is appropriate. Yeah. Obviously, there'd be a bite back from the school on that one. Not sure what the next step is, to be honest with you, in the Dartmouth unionization category.
Right. Like I'm pro the move. I don't know what they do now. What now? I'm not smart enough.
Some sort of like Supreme Court, I guess. I don't know what the school can do. Like, is the school? So here's from Ross Dellinger. The Dartmouth men's basketball team voted to unionize by a 13-2 vote. What now? It could be months before we see the impacts across college sports because of an appeals process. So we're going to be in the courts for a period of time here. Not surprising.
Makes sense, yeah.
We'll be in the courts all day long. College athletics. College athletics stays in the courts. The basketball courts and the courts with the judges in the robes.
Yeah, okay.
They're always in the courts, Josh.
I follow.
All right. Speaking of college athletics and kind of the place we're in right now, obviously you've heard the SEC and the Big Ten attempting to completely ruin the college football playoff by saying, hello, we'd like 2 more teams. We'd like 4 guaranteed spots into the 14-team college football playoff. So we would like to guarantee more than half of the field for us too. And as a cherry on top, we would also like to guarantee that the number 1 ranked teams in each of our conference get a first round bye. Designated, specifically earmarked and tagged for the SEC and for the Big Ten. Would you like to agree to these terms? And then everybody else says, no. But do we have a choice?
No.
I saw this idea floated by Graham Couch last night, who covers Michigan State for the Lansing State Journal. He says, this is ridiculous, even for the greedy parties here, because if the Big Ten and the SEC illegitimately get a first round bye, which there would be cases in which they would, it delegitimizes any potential champion from those leagues. So after finally having a playoff that delivers a true champion, we might not actually get one. So, once again, we had this as a poll question last week. I'm a big believer in the ecosystem of college athletics. Nobody is there to look out for the ecosystem at this point. Even the people who are forced to take the position of fighting for the ecosystem, right? So we're talking about the ACC, we're talking about the Big 12, we're talking about the Pac-12. Like they are forced to be in a position where they are fighting for the greater good of the sport as we view it. But really, they're just looking out for number one, too. Also, I should say. They're looking out for themselves as well. But what's best for them right now is everybody to be even and not for the Big Ten and the SEC to sort of have their way with how they view the future of college football. So nobody's really in the corner of, hey, can't we just not do any of this? Because the Big 12's got to look out for itself too. Like if the Big 12 had a moment and they were like, hey, we can get on even playing ground, there's now the problem is there's nobody else out there that hasn't been gobbled up by the Big 10 and the SEC that would shift the power dynamic in favor of the Big 12 at this point. There's nothing they could really do. But if they had the opportunity to do it, they would do it. So nobody's saying, man, well, what happens to this when this happens? And what happens to this when this happens? And what happens to the GD playoff when we put 14 teams in and 8 of them are from the Big 10 and the SEC and 2 of them automatically get buys every single year? Is it ultimately good for our sport? No, of course it's not. But nobody's there to say that.
So many
nobody's
of these,
that person, if they were saying it, is completely ignored.
So many of these things would have just naturally happened that they didn't need to show their butt on this one. Like the Big 10 and the SEC probably would have each had a team get a bye in a 12-team playoff.
Definitely.
We didn't need to weird flex, but okay, right? Like you're bullying everybody around.
I do think the reason that you're hearing about this is because everybody else is triggered about it, or rightfully so. But they brought this up in meetings with the other conferences.
You know what this bleeper over here said?
Yeah, exactly. Imagine Greg Sankey comes up in this meeting and he stands up and he goes, "How about this? Since we're better than you, I want certain guarantees. I want the number 1 seed or the number 2 seed, and I want a first round bye, and I want 4 of my teams in every single year. What do you have to say about that, Mr. Big 12?
I'm Big Idea Commissioner Brett Yormark, and I say no thank you, sir.
Yeah. No, it actually,
Kansas football has the 3rd best coach in the country.
Yeah.
Have you not read the polls?
Actually, the response is, what the hell? What are you talking about? Where do you get off?
Where do you get the nerve?
Where do you get the nerve?
Deion Sanders coaches for me. I'm Big Idea Commissioner man Brett Yormark.
It's true.
People forget.
Yeah. So, obviously, what's going to happen here?
Don't forget the Pac-2 over here.
Yeah, we still exist, kind of. Obviously, the Big Ten and the SEC are going to get what they want here. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But I thought somewhere along the way that they would maybe do you think they realize how greedy they are? Do you think they know? Do you think they have the self-awareness to know?
I genuinely believe that in the past, let's say 5 to 6 years, it has been shown if you can power through the shame, you can have anything you want.
Yeah.
If you can just bear the PR nightmare for 72 hours, 2 weeks, whatever, no one will stop you doing anything.
Like Greg Sankey and Tony Petitti were both children at one point, They grew up watching college football.
That's my train. You can't have it. I'm Greg Sankey.
They grew up watching college football.
Mm-hmm.
They must feel some sort of allegiance for not necessarily the way it was, but for the greater good of the sport.
But have you ever had a room full of people applaud you, Connor?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It feels pretty
I sang
great.
Billy Joel Piano Man
That's
at the
right.
MGM Grand in Vegas.
You could do it again at 1620 The Watch Party.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Greg gets to walk into a room and say, universities, I've made you X amount more money. Yay! Greg's the best! Yay! Oh, it's a good feeling, Connor.
Yeah. So what you're saying is they know.
I suspect they know.
They know that they're doing this. I wonder how self-aware. Because what they're trying to tell us is that for some godforsaken reason that this is good. Even though nobody else wants it.
Your favorite team getting into the playoff is good.
And all of that's the thing that they have behind them.
Yeah, that's what they're selling to you.
That's the thing that they have behind them.
The spin.
The 32 biggest name, quote unquote, biggest, brands in the country will support this because they stand to gain a lot from it. In fact, the commissioners, I know that they work for the presidents, but the commissioners have the power to say, hey, look, man, like, I get it. We got to worry about number one, but there's an ecosystem here. And so we're all, I often talk about the doomsday post-apocalyptic scenario where, Ohio State wakes up one day and they say, hey, what the hell? Why is Rutgers making the same amount of money as us? I'm now more convinced than ever that it's coming. If they have the gall, if the conferences have the gall to say, we'd like 4 teams earmarked for us, and you guys only get 3, and the poop conferences only get 2, and you suck, and we get the auto first round bye just because it's really hard to win our conference. If they have the gall to do that, then they, what the hell is stopping Ohio State from saying, hey, like, why is Rutgers making the same amount of, why are they getting the same cut as this? We're pulling our weight more than Rutgers is, or more than UCLA is, or more than Wisconsin is.
Right now it comes down to the legwork, right? Like, nobody at Ohio State has said,
yeah,
I'll do the legwork of
it's coming.
Fielding a tournament and picking the sites and renting them and all those things, right? That's the only thing stopping this, right?
If they, like I said, if they have the gall to say all these things in front of their peers, or what they used to view to be their peers and now they view as their subordinates, and they'll tell them to their face, I've never been more discouraged about the future of where we're headed in that regard. Not to make it sound like overly sad, but like, you have to understand how we're trending here.
100%.
The people in charge do not care about Jack. They have no self-awareness, and all they want is money.
Someone has shaken the Admiral's hand at Ohio State and said, hey, have you ever given any thought to asking why Rutgers makes so much money? What do they do here?
Yeah.
100% someone
that's been brought up
at a cocktail party has said that to Ted.
Yeah. Don't you think it's a pretty weird deal that they get the same payout as you?
It's weird. They're Northwestern, Admiral.
All it's going to take is one day for somebody to say, oh, yeah, I guess I don't really like that. I would like my fair cut, please.
They're Maryland, Mr. Carter.
Yeah. We're not trending good. All right. I know. We're down in the dumps a little bit. Tournament, they're going to blow our tournament up. They're going to blow our college football up. But congratulations. I mean, if you view it this way, I choose not to personally. But if you view it this way, congratulations, Nebraska fans. You are a part of the good team. You are a part of the cool kids club that will make a whole bunch of money and stands to gain
A first-round bye.
A first-round bye.
And then a tired Arch Manning comes to Lincoln.
A spot. He's played too many video games. Yep. A spot in the college football playoff. It all goes to you. Congratulations. But what was it all worth? And what does it mean?
Was it worth your soul?
What does it actually mean? So back to the original point. What does it actually mean if, the winner of the Big Ten is, for some reason, Oregon at 10-2 that year? The whole conference has cannibalized itself. Oregon wins the league at 10-2, and yet they are the number 2 seed with a first-round bye in the college football playoff, and you have undefeated Florida State just sitting there like, what the hell? We have to play a game this week?
Well,
the game has told you that the other teams mean less.
Should have had a better TV deal.
Stupid. Dumb. Bad. Hate it. Don't like it. Jacob Bigelow is next. This will cheer us up. This will be better. Nebraska in the midst of kind of a week off here before closing out their regular season. We'll talk seeding scenarios and the outlook ahead for Husker Hoops next with Jacob Bigelow and the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Spring is in sight. Looking to wake up your yard this season? Make your neighbors green with envy with Lenahaw's wide selection of landscape supplies and homegrown plant material. Get a head start today. Lenahaw Nurseries, 192nd and Center.
Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. EquitableOnline.com.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's corporate cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp. Just go to ramp.com/sports. Ramp.com/sports. ramp.com/sports.
In school sports, it's easy to see the wins, the moments that make headlines. But there's so much work that goes unseen for any of it to happen. My name is Phil Risen, and I'm the Executive Director of the National Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association. Throughout the country, athletic administrators dedicate countless hours to making life-changing opportunities possible for student athletes through sports. Their sacrifice is fueled by the belief that every student can grow and deserves their time to shine. On behalf of the NIAAA, we want to thank every athletic administrator for your tireless dedication to providing 7.8 million students across the country a path to a better future.
This message presented by the NIAAA, the National Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Howdy, Greg Wagner joining you from the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission. Time now for another Nebraska Outdoor Update. Say there's a lot to do this season in Nebraska's outdoors. There's always hiking in the state parks. There's bird watching. There's trout stream fishing action. There's scouting for that spring wild turkey hunting trip. And there's looking for shed deer antlers in your favorite woods. So there's no reason to be a couch potato, is there? No. Get outdoors and enjoy. Well, it's time to get all your new permits and stamps for hunting, fishing, fur harvesting in state parks. Time to check your motorboat registration for renewal. Time to make those cabin and camping reservations in the state parks if you haven't done that already. And time to go over all of your outdoor gear for spring and summer. Get more information on Nebraska's outdoor scene by going to the Game and Parks website, outdoornebraska.gov. And that'll wrap it up. I'm Greg Wagner with Nebraska Game and Parks.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no service fees. Shop ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
He's heating up.
That's the country song, right? Remember when?
Thank you.
Jacob Bigelow.
Yeah. Whenever my open is concocted, throw that in there.
He's on fire.
Jacob Bigelow, Huskers Illustrated, on the Connor Happer Show, on 1620, The Zone.
Boom shakalaka.
He's heating up. Bigelow time before you know it. I guess we're probably going into it right now. Like, we got basketball on at all times of the day. Jacob's into some smaller conference stuff. As he joins us now on the 42 Degrees of Source hotline. Hi, Jacob.
Hello. I got to see one of the small conference teams that I'm most affiliated with blow a 20-point lead and go on to lose by 20 over the weekend. So it is officially sicko. It is sicko Bigelow all the way. It is Bigelow season, Bigelow time. And that was evidenced by some results on the hardwood over the weekend.
20-point lead into a 20-point loss. That's pretty rare, man. That's no bueno.
Yeah, no good. Some American Athletic Conference action. UAB in Memphis. Blazers on the road in Memphis were up 20 at one point, and gave up 60 plus points in the second half and lost by 20. Not a fun result.
Hey, speaking of being a mild sicko here, I've been discovering over the last couple of days here the NSAA throwing a whole bunch of old state basketball championships onto YouTube. So what's the first one that you would go to? If I assume you've probably maybe done some clicking already. Where's the first one you go to if you're looking at old basketball state championship games?
Oh, that's a great question. I have done some clicking. I haven't watched them in full yet. I know they're kind of doing it every day. They're uploading a new year. So I think 2011 A game will be up today at some point. I'll have to tune into that one. I'm interested in the 20, definitely once they get to the 2012 A and 2013 A, those were
that's your time.
That's my time, my eighth grade year, my freshman year, and the last time that our alma mater won a state title. I will definitely be locked in on some old Central Eagle hoops once those are on the YouTube for sure.
Hey, by the way, I was just so you would have the stat more than me because you were more of that time. So they won, the Central won in 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, right? Or just 13 was the last one?
13.
Because they never won in 14 because the new bill. Have they won a game yet in the new in PBA?
It took a while, but they did finally break that curse. They got to the state final with Trelly Reitzel, John Tanjay, a little bit of talent on that team, a little bit of talent, and they lost that one to South. But they finally got over that PBA curse. But I think 13. Spring of 13 was the last one they won. Coy's senior year. Yeah, he won 4. So
I should have known that. I'm pretty sure I called that game with Trelly and Tanji and those guys.
Yep. But no, and then if you ask people at Central, they'll still tell you to this day they should have won 8 in a row.
Correct. That is correct. I'm a holder of that opinion, Jacob. I'm a holder of that opinion. I do not blame anybody specifically, but maybe privately I've had some conversations with members of the class of 2009 and how they maybe kind of blew it a little bit, but that's just me.
No, because they had 3 in a row, 06, 07, 08, did not win in 2009, and then had the 4 in a row with the Coys. So it could have been 8 in a row for sure. Could have been.
Lost. I think so. That was my junior year. We lost to North in the district final and didn't make it. But yes, there's definitely people who hold the opinion. I'm one of them who say that they could have won state had they just won that game, and they probably would have. And then we'd be talking about something completely different. Anyway, okay, enough Hey, speaking of you rip out your favorite song, "Remember When," right there. We just
little remember when to start the segment. Never hurt anybody.
go down the YouTube rabbit hole. I would encourage anybody to do it, man. There's some fantastic stuff on there and some real blasts from the past, depending on what you're into. But let's get into Nebraska basketball. Who gets kind of the week off here? They go Sunday to Sunday. Rutgers senior day at home. We'll look back before we look forward, and kind of just reflect on the season at PBA. 18-1. I know people are having a tough time discussing the difference between 29 and 30, but that is aside from the point. They went undefeated in conference play for the first time since 18, 17, 18. But they didn't only go undefeated at home, Jacob. They crushed pretty much everybody at home, with the exception of their, of the Wisconsin game that went into overtime. They smoked everybody at home in conference this year. Like, they did exactly what they were supposed to do.
Yeah, no, they did. And, we heard as much from, the players and from Fred Hoiberg, after the game on Sunday, just expressing their gratitude to the fan base and, and PBA for giving them the atmospheres that they had, all year long. I mean, all the Big Ten games were juiced up, some great atmospheres and some memorable results too. I mean, it's, looking back on it, reflecting on it, I mean, it's a, pretty special season, just with the results they had at home. And, there's still some opportunity for some more, some memories to be made these next couple of weeks.
You've been in the building for the majority of the games since Nebraska moved into Pinnacle Bank Arena. Like, describe, and for people who have been there and know, this won't be news to you, but it is very different when Keisei Tominaga has the basketball in his hand at PBA. And I haven't even been to that many games over the last 2 years now, but when he came in, it's just a complete shock to the system. And I think that's probably Keisei Tominaga's legacy, and probably not anything else. It does feel a little bit different when he has the ball in his hands, though. There's a different electricity.
Oh, I completely agree. I don't think I've seen anything get that place going, no sit Sunday or Creighton game in 17, 18, or no, that was 18, 19. Yeah. Those two, and then just Keisei heaters. Those are the two. Those are the top three things that come to mind when I think of that place getting juiced and amped and into it. I mean, there's always like a collective holding of the breath or a gasp. We kind of heard Josiah Alec talk about it going into the game last week. Just you can feel the air in the building when Keisei puts a shot up, and they're just looking for it and waiting to explode. And I mean, there's probably no more Keisei Tominaga sequence than the and one logo three, where he hits the logo three, gets fouled, runs down to the end of the court doing the Kevin McAllister face. And then, it ends up, they're whistling him like, "Hey, come on, let's go, get back here. Like, we gotta do this.
Get on the line, man. You gotta go."
No, like if you watch the clip again, you'll hear, I forget if it was Vic Junkins or Courtney Green or someone's blowing the whistle like, "Hey, come on, hurry up. Like, we gotta get these free throws up." Was fully expecting high knees to tee him up or something, but that's the most Keisei Tominaga sequence in all of the Keisei Tominaga moments at Pinnacle Bank Arena.
Okay, so I've downplayed the home road thing with them this year. It's definitely a thing. Obviously, the record is notable, but I do think generally what Nebraska does, travels to a road environment or to a neutral environment at the Big Ten tournament or to the NCAA tournament. There's a different energy, there's a different edge, but I think they've proven that. However, Jacob, I do think the management of what you get from Keisei Tominaga is different when you're at home compared to when you're on the road. I think when you're at home, you're likely, like, you can just ride the wave with him, because the energy that you get with him on your home floor and when he has the ball in his hands, like you just explained, like, I think you can take the bad with the good in that. On the road, how do you manage, and in a neutral site, I think that the managing of him changes just maybe ever so slightly, but I think noticeably a little bit for Nebraska basketball. Would you agree?
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I mean, I think it's no coincidence that his two best road outings are also Nebraska's two best. I mean, he torched Illinois, and that was pretty close to being a pretty good win, and then he goes on the heater at Assembly Hall, and that's where they pick up their first conference road win. I mean, I don't think that's any coincidence, but I mean, it's definitely, it's the K-Say coaster. It's been a thing for 3 seasons now since he got here. But I definitely, I agree. It definitely changes, on the road, but because he's not, he's maybe playing to the crowd, maybe talking some stuff to some people, but he's not, he doesn't have the crowd just waiting for him to go nuclear.
Yeah, like when I think of a tough, gritty road win, it's you got to have shot making, but usually it's going to come from getting stops, right? Like tough, gritty road wins, you got to go down and get stops. That's, for the record, what they couldn't do against Ohio State. Obviously, Nebraska couldn't get over the hump in terms of making shots, but Ohio State made more plays. Like they couldn't get enough stops to get themselves in position to potentially make a run at it. Like that leads a little bit into the equation, a little bit closer to like Sam Hoiberg on the Sam Hoiberg K-Say Tominaga scale. It'll be really interesting to see how they manage that whole thing, whether it's in Minneapolis or beyond.
Yeah, I mean the Sam Hoiberg, Josiah Alec of it all. That's the road.
Yes.
The stuff on Dick's out, and and anything you can get from if K-Say wants to not wants, but ends up going on a heater, and that's an added bonus. But it's the intangibles from guys like Sam, Josiah, the 50-50 plays, stuff like that flips it on the road.
Yeah, obviously you'd like to have one of your streaky shooters get hot for sure.
Yeah.
But the consistency part of it is important. Speaking of I don't know, streaky shooter, maybe it's a little unfair, but maybe deserved at this point. So you get a couple of them going, and I think we talked about sort of the kind of mix and mash between the three guys, whether it's Tominaga and then Hoiberg on the defensive end, but let's add Wilcher into the conversation too. I feel like Nebraska was at their best when he was really going, and he hit the heater. He had his two biggest games of the year against Purdue and Wisconsin, and those are probably Nebraska's best two performances of the year as well. Like I feel like they got to get him back going. Like obviously that goes without saying, but I feel like he's a more pivotal piece to this puzzle than maybe we give him credit for sometimes.
Oh, he definitely is, and he's embraced. He started his career in Nebraska like in the starting lineup, but he's fully embraced coming off the bench, and he said multiple times this year his job is to make shots and defend, and he's got to if he's not making shots, you kind of like, all right, CJ, like you got to show something, but. I definitely think they got to get him going. I know he wasn't his best showing on Sunday, but I know that it probably was good for him to at least see one fall. Like shooters and being a guy who embraces that role like he does. I mean, it's a lot of mental, a lot of you're staying after practice, all that stuff. But I'm even just seeing one fall after the stretch he was on probably was big for him.
A couple things on Michigan before we get you out here, Jacob. Number one, what's your gut on what happens with Juwan Howard after this year, regardless of what happens on Sunday?
I think they're going to give him another year, which is crazy to say. Like I've seen a bunch of people like coming to his defense. Like I saw Sam Vecini did like a Twitter thread about how like firing him now would be irrational, and people forget, what he did when he got there. I'm just like, how about the last 2 years?
Yeah.
I mean, that's not even just this year, where they are a tire fire. But look at their team last year. They had Hunter Dickinson. They had multiple guys that got drafted, and they wound up in the NIT. That's not, you go from that to single-digit wins on the year. I don't think that's a trend that's a trend that you want to, embrace and, roll with. But I mean, obviously the health concerns and, the oddities of, I'm here, but I don't feel like coaching today, and all sorts. I mean, it's been a weird season for Michigan basketball for sure. And I'm starting to think, well, not starting to, this kind of was my assertion, at the midpoint of the year, that maybe football winning a title and Harbaugh leaving, and that kind of people are just, locked in on football, and kind of put basketball on the back burner, and they're going to be like, all right, Juwan, like, here's your last shot. Here's one more year. That's kind of where I'm at right now.
So weird. The heat doesn't seem to be that hot, for whatever reason. And then you look around. I mean, think about it, what we were talking about from a carousel perspective at the beginning of the year. I know we kind of, you and I went back and forth on some jobs that may or may not be open. Obviously, Fred has saved his job. Ben Johnson has saved his job. And now we're looking at Juwan Howard like, whoa, that turned downhill, pretty dang quickly. What's going to happen with Mike Woodson now? All of a sudden, it's gone from like, hey, man, those are two jobs in Nebraska and Minnesota that could open up, and the replacement level of them might be Indiana and Michigan, which kind of changes the ride a little bit. It changes the carousel after the season.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I think, there isn't going to be much chatter locally, obviously, but with it. But, I mean, I think that, this carousel could get wild. It could resemble the football one a couple years ago that, saw Brian Kelly end up at LSU and, Lincoln Riley to USC. I think it could maybe give that a run for its money. I think it's about to get a little crazy once some, team seasons start to end, whether it be in conference tourney play or in the postseason.
Yep, no doubt about it. Jacob Bigelow of Huskers Illustrated and of the Stretch Big Pod. Okay, Jacob, let me know whenever you want to talk about those three Nebraska ball teams, going up against each other. You just give me a call. I'll be there.
No, I think we need to make that happen here soon. Might have to do the three Nebraska teams and some Central basketball in the 2010s. Little crossover, little crossover between them, and I'd be totally down for that. But yeah, I'll let you know, and I appreciate the time like always.
All right, yep, you know how to get in touch with my people.
Yep, my people, your people, we'll make it happen. Thanks, Happer.
See ya. There's Jacob Bigelow of Huskers Illustrated and of the Stretch Big Pod, which I have once again successfully invited myself onto another podcast.
Good job, Connor.
That's how you do it, Josh. That's how you do it. Say, I'll come on your podcast.
Pull your way in.
And it's amazing when people are like, sure, I guess I'll be on your podcast.
Connor doesn't say no.
No. It's probably more of a problem than it is anything else, but I genuinely like doing it, so I'll just keep doing it.
Okay. Until
I get sick of it. Coming back, a couple more things left to cover. We never really dove into the Russell Wilson thing from yesterday. And we haven't really checked on our local baseball teams as well. So we still have to do that coming up when we get 10 more minutes in the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone. But there's always time for another reminder of the big giveaway. The basketball championships coming up, 1620 The Zone. We got watch parties all over the place, whether it's Backlot Tap House in Exarban for you and your crew, or the big one in Vegas. You're invited. I'm seeing pictures from people at the pools in Vegas. The pools are open. Folks, one grand prize winner will score a flyaway to Vegas and stay at the Circa Resort and Casino. You know, the one with the pools and the giant screens and the betting everywhere. Oh, what a place. Join in on the fun. Don't miss your chance to enter now. Just go to our website, 1620thezone.com. While you're at it, while you're signing up, click that little subscribe today button. There's a checkbox in there. You want those. You're going to want those emails because that's how you find out about future things like this. 1620 The Watch Party, powered by Circa Resort and Casino and Backlot Tap House.
Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
And I thought the quote from Ted Carter when he was asked the controversies that have followed Ross Bjork, Carter said, "A calm sea never produced a good sailor."
That made me laugh too.
To which I would say,
Thank you,
it makes a big difference, though, when the guy you hired is the one throwing the bombs in the ocean to make rough seas.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
A quiet Tuesday ahead. Expect sunshine in the morning with more cloud cover moving in by the middle of the day. Expect clouds to hang around into the afternoon with light winds. Highs in the mid to upper 50s. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV News Watch 7.
The Connor Happer Show returns in minutes on 1620 The Zone.
Dino here with Leach Camper Sales. You'll be pleasantly surprised to see how affordable an RV can be. We have travel trailers with payments as low as $150 a month for qualified buyers, and they're ready to drive off the lot. Check out our inventory at leachcamper.com and bring us your trades. And don't forget, shop is always on.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be a sign that your digestive system isn't working at its best? Taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil fiber powders help promote your daily digestive health using a plant-based fiber called psyllium. The gelling action of this special fiber traps and removes waste, so you can feel lighter and more energetic. Metamucil, promoting digestive health for a better you. Learn more at metamucil.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Roofing, siding, and gutters. Make the right call with the rooferys at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Don't miss this week's Zone Deal.
This week's half-off deal is Copal Mexican Cuisine. Get $50 in gift certificates for only $25. Copal Mexican Cuisine, home of weekend brunch on Saturdays and Sundays with all-day happy hour on Sundays. Come check out Copal Mexican Cuisine, 129th and Maple.
Zone deals go fast. 9 a.m. Friday, 1620thezone.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
If you're having problems in the bedroom, talking about it is the last thing you want to do. Same goes for hair loss, anxiety, or even depression. That's where HIMS comes in. Through HIMS, you don't have to talk about it. You can do something about it. Just go to hims.com/start, where you can find a variety of potential solutions for the problems men face every day and save up to 95% on generic alternatives. The entire process is 100% online, making it incredibly simple, straightforward, and above all, private. If prescribed, treatments made using clinically proven ingredients are shipped directly to your door in low-key packaging. So if you're experiencing ED, hair loss, anxiety, or problems with your general health, you don't have to go to the doctor or the pharmacy or spend all day talking about it. Just go to hims.com/start and do something about it. Get started today at hims.com/start. That's HIMS.com/START.
Email any of our shows anytime into the Equitable Bank inbox. At Equitable, we take banking personally. For me, John at 1620thezone.com. The Equitable Bank inbox from 1620 The Zone.
Shout out to our good friend Pedro. Pedro, man, he wrote us a lovely note, and he brought us a giant thing full of cookies for not just us, but for all of us at 1620 The Zone to enjoy. And let me tell you, Pedro, the feeling is mutual, my friend.
Absolutely. And he brought us some cards.
Yep.
From
I got a late stage George Breadism.
Some various luminaries. There's a lot of Benoit Benjamins in here, a lot of Tom Rathmans.
Mm-hmm. Pedro, our guy.
We'll put this on the I don't know about the wall of random. We don't want to stick anything to it, but
I'm going to quote from Pedro on the text line. 1620 The Zone is the best radio station in Omaha. Thanks, Pedro.
Wow.
I didn't say that. Pedro said.
Pedro.
Do we ever record testimonials?
We have the ability to.
I got the guy to call.
Okay.
His name is Pedro. We got his phone number. We can hit him up. All right. Couple other things to check in on. Oh, yes. Okay. Let me give you the details on Russell Wilson here. So Russell Wilson will be cut next week when before the new league year sets in.
Now, we knew this already, right?
We assumed this.
Okay.
We assumed this.
Because everybody was like, oh, breaking news, Russell Wilson to be cut. I'm like, didn't they decide this already?
So, no, they decided that he wasn't going to be the starter anymore, and they had to figure out how it was actually going to go.
And it was all tinged with, he ain't going to work here no more.
Correct. But there was a chance that they could bring him back, and he could either battle for the job or not be the starter. Like, Russell Wilson is still a starting quarterback in the NFL, guys. Like,
yeah,
I know his image has taken a significant hit over the last 4 years, but like, now, would you pay him $50 million to be the starting quarterback for your team?
Not.
No, you would not. You would not be advised to do that. But nonetheless, some people's beloved Denver Broncos did. So they will have to take an $85 million dead cap hit for his 5-year, $242.6 million contract.
That's the biggest dead cap hit ever.
Ever by double.
Yeah. In fact, if you combined the previous record and the previous number 2, which is now the number 3 cap hit, if you combine those two, it still is not as much as Russell Wilson. That's astounding.
Here's why the dead cap's so much. The contract hadn't kicked in yet. So they did the trade, and I want to tell you about the trade in a second, but it was under the idea that he would then sign an extension. And so it was reported last night. Sometimes these things work, like you finish out that contract. Sometimes it kicks in right away. In Russ's case, like, he was under the agreement to kick in the contract after he got done with his previous contract, which was expiring at the end of this past year. Hadn't played it down under the, once again, 5-year, $242 million contract. Had not played a down. Is healthy. But he was still released. It's a tough game out here. Now, it's not so tough for Russell Wilson because he put himself in a pretty good spot. He's got a big payday coming his way. That's amazing. They lost, when you count it up that way, they did not get anything back for what was already viewed as a pretty wild extension. But you can always, in the NFL, excuse it away. In the NFL, you can always say, look, we would do anything. We would sell our souls to get a franchise quarterback. We would do anything required. And the Seahawks knew that. They also knew something else about Russ. He wasn't that good. And so they took advantage.
They've seen him day in, day out. They knew.
And so they took advantage. And here's what they got. They not only, got the contract out from underneath him. They don't have to sign him anymore. But they also got the following. A 2022 first, which turned into offensive tackle Charles Cross. A 2022 second, which turned into Boye Mafe. A 2022 fifth, which turned into Tyreek Smith. A 2023 first, which turned into all-pro cornerback Devin Witherspoon. A 2023 second, which turned into Derek Hall, and Noah Fant, and Shelby Harris, and Drew Lock.
It's not quite the Herschel Walker deal, but
holy God, Josh,
it's a haul.
This is as bad as it gets.
Yeah.
This is as bad as it gets, right? I mean, we now have the power of hindsight. Once again, all the NFL teams can excuse it off to themselves, and they could say, look, we would do anything in the world, anything required to sign a franchise quarterback. And the Broncos were presented with the opportunity to do so, and they took it, and I can hardly fault them for it. But with the benefit of hindsight, this is the worst trade and sequential signing that we have ever seen. It can't be worse. It could not be worse. 2 firsts, 2 seconds, a fifth, 3 players who you could get something from or use, in the case of Noah Fant, and then extending him for $50 million a year after that for 5 years. It hurts. It hurts. But once again,
pretty bad.
I will not fault an NFL team for attempting to try. Like, God bless you. this just could not have been any worse. This just could not have worked out worse.
It went pretty horribly.
And so my next question with Russ is this. And I don't know how people think about Russell Wilson right now. Maybe they think he's washed. Maybe they've been, kind of tricked by Sean Payton, and they tried to get rid of him and tried to make him run. And obviously there's the personality stuff, like how big of a presence do you really want him to be? Obviously he had moved into a different kind of portion of his career from a personality standpoint at the end of his Seahawks contract. We're like, okay, he wanted to be treated like dude A. Okay, now we've learned our lesson. He's not dude A, right?
No, he's not.
So what is he? And so my question is this. Who wants the redemption story? I think there's going to be some lucky team out there who is just searching and will be like, sure, we'll take Russell Wilson, 34-year-old, I believe, Russell Wilson, on a league minimum type of deal.
Certainly a very friendly deal.
Team friendly deal. Low impact from us in terms of an investment that we have to make into him.
He's 35, by the way.
35-year-old Russell Wilson. But let's just say 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Throw a couple million bones at him. You're already getting paid out from your buyout from the contract. We suck. We have no expectations. And then all of a sudden, it turns into a bit of a redemption story. I can see it playing out that way, Josh. In fact, I would be surprised if it didn't. I'd be surprised if we didn't get a very serviceable version of Russell Wilson for the remainder of his NFL career.
I like the Baker Mayfield comp you made earlier with Allen.
Because that team was supposed to be so bad.
Yeah.
They were gutted after Brady.
Mm-hmm.
They had no pieces. Their defense was aging at best, right? And it turned out they still had some pieces left. They still had some decent wide receivers, and they put in Baker Mayfield, and they didn't give him the job. He was battling with Kyle Trask last year.
And I get it. The division was terrible, but
right.
Somebody had to win the division. But
so what?
Yeah.
Now look at Baker Mayfield. How's Baker Mayfield viewed amongst his peers in the NFL now?
Baker Mayfield is going to cash in, and Russell Wilson's going to have to beg for a job.
You bet.
And the Steelers have already said, no, thank you.
It wouldn't surprise me if Russell Wilson signed like a 1 or 2 year deal. And then in 1 and 2 or 2 years, somebody is actually going, like the Colts, who will this is the contract after the contract for Russ. The Colts basically Phillip Rivers him. And they're like, would you like to take this already playoff ready team to the playoffs? We need a stand-in. We need a mannequin to play quarterback. Would you like to do it for us?
We need a body.
I could see that I love that path for Russ. You know what I say? I love that. They love that path for you. I love that path for him.
Was it you or Allen mentioned the Patriots? That feels like a fit, I guess. I mean, we don't know what the Patriots are going to be now, but
feels a little bit beyond repair for the moment. Like that's too bad. That almost seems too bad. The Patriots seem too bad.
Too stinky?
Yeah.
All right.
But they don't have a quarterback.
They do not, famously.
And it sure as hell ain't no-look throws Mac Jones. Have you seen this? They were like, here's a video of Mac Jones practicing no-look throws.
Well, let's see.
And the joke is quite obvious, Josh. So if you want me to make it, I will.
Browns? I mean, they're going to try Deshaun Watson again, right? So it's not going to be Russell Wilson.
Yeah. Ooh, God, I don't know. Flacco. Joe Flacco. Oh, there's options. He'll find a team. He'll find a spot. He'll play.
Who's Washington's quarterback?
Sam Howell. I don't think they love that.
I don't think they do either. Vikings? Do they move on from Kirk Cousins and just get Kirk Cousins?
They're going to have an action plan here soon.
I don't know.
All right. Quick timeout. We will get you the poll questions. Tell you what to watch on the other side on 1620 The Zone.
Big names, big games. We've got them all. 1620 The Zone.
You know what Mentality can help you with? Low energy, motivation, weight gain, muscle loss, fatigue, tired all the time, feeling anxious, moody, irritability, impatience, anxiety, and depression. Mentality can help you with their board-certified physicians and their testosterone treatments that can take care of you and get you back in the game. You can regain normal function and restore your ability to perform normally at all levels just by Mentality. Set up an appointment today. Go to lowtusa.com. Get back in the game. Don't sit on the sidelines and let Mentality lead the way.
Hi, I'm Kamiko, the founder of Miko's Hot Chicken. When we started our family restaurant, we were also raising a family. But let me tell you, it wasn't easy. Our Chase Inc. card was there to reward us on all of our business needs. Now we have a thriving location, and we're hungry for more.
With the Chase Inc. Business Unlimited card, you can earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for business. Make more with yours. Real business owners compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Hey Omaha dog lovers, get ready for more wags and more fun. Hound HQ, your dog's favorite spot for daycare, boarding, and top-notch grooming is now open. At Hound HQ, there's plenty of space for a pup to sleep, play, and everything in between. Plus, our expert groomers are here to ensure your furry family member always looks fabulous. Join our pack on Facebook and Instagram at The Hound HQ, or visit our website, thehoundhq.com, and sign up your dog today. Hound HQ, more wags, more fun.
Maverick baseball and softball home openers are here. Maverick softball opens Thursday with Valparaiso at Clausen Field, and baseball opens with Portland on Wednesday at Tal Anderson Field. Get your season tickets or single game tickets by calling 402-554-MAVS or going to omavs.com/ticks. Also, this weekend is the hockey series finale as Maverick hockey takes on third-ranked North Dakota. Get your hockey tickets by calling the box office at 402-554-MAVS or by going to omavs.com/ticks.
A toast to our new college grad who fills us with so much joy, almost as much as when we're in our RV. Oh, the world is your oyster, kiddo, and ours too. Now that we're covered with Progressive, Dad and I can hop in our RV anytime we want. Might even splurge on a retractable awning. Ooh, look out. Sorry, what was I talking about?
Protect your loved one with an RV policy from Progressive. Take as little as 4 minutes to see what you could save at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
All right, welcome back. Connor Happer, Josh Adson with you to the poll questions at Happer Show on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed. I do want to update you on a final result from yesterday.
Oh, yeah, important.
Is 29-30? 60% said no.
Sorry, Connor.
Can only fight the good fight for so long.
Did have one during the crossover yesterday afternoon.
Oh, where was that? Are cuss words having a moment?
I kind of think they are.
71% agree.
Yeah.
All right, from today. Do you want your ice cream place to be a little chaotic? I do think it is the secret sauce to the ice cream place.
Yeah.
There's always chaos with the 17-year-olds working in there.
A little X factor.
53% say yes. Have you been to Perkins and Kearney?
Most voted on poll question of the day.
Wow. No, I personally have not.
I have.
62% said no, but it's 39% saying yes, Josh. It's pretty specific for 39% to say yes. Is the bowling alley the last place you want to be naked? Yes.
Some people did bring up some good alternatives, but in the spirit of this poll question, I will vote yes.
56% said no. And finally, have you been fed loads of crap before?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. 90% say yes.
Wow.
90. See? Look at that. These guys get it. They understand. Those are the poll questions, Josh. What are we watching or listening to tonight?
Oh, yeah. We have the NBA on TNT tonight. It's the Tuesday crew, but they got a good slate. Celtics at the Cavaliers, 6:30 tip there. It's two of the top three teams in the Eastern Conference. Boston's won 11 in a row, followed by the Suns and the Denver Nuggets in the Mile High City. 9 o'clock tip. Suns just a half a game above the play-in line, so they need every win they can get. Tonight's a tall ask for them. Hockey.
Go Suns.
Yeah. Whoa. Playing your Nuggets.
Go Suns. I hope they make it.
Hockey on Hulu, Blues, Islanders, 6:30. College basketball on Peacock tonight at 6 o'clock. Number 3, Purdue at number 12, Illinois. Kind of interesting little matchup there.
Definitely fun.
Doubleheader on ESPN, 6 o'clock. Number 16, Alabama at Florida. Followed at 8 o'clock by K-State at number 14, Kansas. If you are of the baseball, you can listen to Connor Happer as he does the play-by-play for the Blue Jays opening day tilt against UMass Lowell. 5:45 on 1180 is where you can hear that one. Congratulations, Connor. Good luck to you.
Congratulations. I haven't done anything yet.
Well, you were named play-by-play guy
for this game
while John's away.
Yep.
Tonight is Super Tuesday on every news channel if you're a political sicko.
Oh, no. Is it really?
It is.
Thank God I'm busy.
Yeah, 15 states head to the polls to try and help determine a Republican nominee for president of the United States. If you're not into that, you can watch Mean Girls on Paramount Plus. The reboot.
Same vibes.
The reboot musical of the 2004 film. And Connor, after you're done tonight, I want you to go home. I want you to turn on Paramount Network, snort some Coke, and fire up your Xbox for one of the best heist movies of all time.
Town!
The Town is on tonight, everybody.
Coke and Xbox. You want to act like you care about Shine. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you,
Connor. Go rob Fenway Park while I'm at it. That is the show. If you missed anything, you can find it on our website, conveniently located, 1620thezone.com. Crossover, it's next.
Whose car we taking?
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. EquitableOnline.com.
If weekend brunch makes you happy, and Sunday happy hour makes you happy, and delicious Mexican foods make you happy, then come to Copal Mexican Cuisine this weekend and get happy, happy, happy. It starts with brunch on Saturday and Sunday that includes Mexican favorites and brunch classics with something for everyone. Then it's Sunday Fun Day happy hour with happy hour prices all day. So come on, get happy at Copal Mexican Cuisine. Find them on Facebook and at 129th and Maple. Traditional Mexican flavors with a modern culinary touch.
Cage the Elephant is back. Neon Pill Tour. September 16th at CHI Health Center Arena. With special guests Young the Giant and Bakar. Tickets are on sale Friday morning at 10 at Ticketmaster.com. Don't miss Cage the Elephant.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's corporate cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp. Just go to ramp.com/sports.